Hey, everybody on YouTube, what is going on? We're kicking off a brand new week here on Spaced Out Radio, and I'll tell you, what a way to do it. Getting into Dogman, the Jersey Devil, and other cryptids and monsters with Nick Valente tonight. Oh, it's going to be a beauty. Jam-packed information all night long. I'm pumped up about it. I hope you are too, coming off the weekend, and I hope your Monday was a little bit better than mine. I wasn't feeling good this morning. No, but I slept in a little bit more, and it felt good. Felt good because I got a couple of days off here. But, yeah, let's give a rundown here of everybody who is here so far, getting ready for our lovely entertainment. Mike L. in the gold medal position. Long Island Bigfoot in the silver and bronze for Worsley tonight. Hey, Wreakin' Havoc, gorgeous Becky Belling in Peace World. How you doing? Good to have you here. Boz Monster, always a pleasure to have you here. Hey, Joey, thanks for coming on in. Good to see you, little Deborah. Thank you for joining us tonight. Nate Foot, always a pleasure to have you here, my bud. Thank you for coming on in. Hey, Antonio, what's up, man? Paul Holland, how is tomorrow looking in Brisbane? Tell us. Let us know. Big Fat Creep, good to see you. Steam Train Mark, how's tomorrow looking? Please let us know if we are alive tomorrow. We'd appreciate that. Chris Fahabi, welcome to this chat room for the first time. Twin Rose Brewery, good to see you. Hi, gorgeous Tammy. Thanks for joining us. Scott, how you doing, man? Good to have you here as well, as per usual, my friend. Steve Stockton, can't wait to get you on the air later this week, brother. Good to have you. Bisler, thanks for joining us. Project Blue Book and Millennium, thank you for being there. Dirty Filth, good to have you here. Remember, Dirty Filth will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the right of the studio. Jesse Szymanski, thank you for joining us from New York. I can't wait to go to New York one day. Cannot wait, but thank you for joining us in our chat room. And Chris Jarvis, good to see you. Den Bub, thanks for joining us. Michael Morris, good to have you here. Hey, Cashew and Zach, welcome. Hallmark Corey, always a pleasure to pry you away from your television for this show. Thank you. Nucker, good to see you. Nicola, welcome to the show. Nicola will be signing autographs to the left of the studio after the show, so make sure you bring your own Sharpie because Nicola's never prepared. Brian, thank you for having us. We appreciate it. The gorgeous and talented Jessica McCreary, it's always a pleasure to have you here. It really is. And where are we here? Going down the list. Jenny, how you doing, gorgeous? Thank you for joining us. And Blackbird Immaculate, good to have you back. And Race Fan WFO, welcome to our chat room for the first time. We appreciate that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Kira, you are looking beautiful and stunning tonight. The Michael Leger, everyone. The Michael Leger is here. Oh my gosh, look who it is. From the hot seats of Las Vegas, Nevada, looking gorgeous in her stilettos, the stunning and talented Heather McIntyre is back for some Dogman action. Welcome, Heather. We love you. Richard Elmore, good to have you here. Mogolan, welcome back to the show. Lord of Land and lovely Lauren, good to have you here. Eugene, how you doing, my brother? Good to have you back here, my friend. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us. Joseph, how you doing, man? Good to have you here. And hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. It's always nice when you're here. Susan, how are you? Thank you for joining us. CD Squatcher, how are you? Thank you for joining us. And Rich Hilke, good to see you. Where the hell did I see? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I am caught up. I didn't miss anything. Thought I missed something, but I guess I didn't. Guess I didn't. Polar Eclipse and Troy, good to have you here. James Fadekey, welcome to the show. Welcome. 6-foot man-sized owl. Oh, my goodness. You got aliens, buddy. You got aliens. Lori Oliphant, welcome to the show. Prairie Fire, good to have you here. Bombshell Bomber, thanks for joining us. G-Man, good to have you back. And, yeah, we're going to have one hell of a show tonight, everyone. Nick Valente from the North American Dogman Project. Go 66. Boo. Kyle Evans, good to have you back. Well, that's big words there, Blackbird. Big words. Stu effin' Gerson. Right there, buddy. Remember, a good way to support this show is hit that thumbs up. and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. The super chat is open. If you feel the need for speed, then we do accept super chats, and you can do some shopping at facebook.com/the SOR Vault. You can pick up your really cool swag there. La la, how are you, my gorgeous friend? And who else do we got coming on in? I think we're caught up right now. Nick Valente, Dogman. Yes, we're going into a lot of monsters here tonight, everyone. A lot of monsters. So let's just get things going here. We're going to get going here in about 10 seconds, and we're going to have a good time. Yeah, we are. And what do you say we do a show? Hey, Bussy the Clown, welcome back. Here we go. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Nick Valente is a retired police officer, currently a cryptozoologist and researcher with the North American Dogman Project, who looks into reported encounters and theories on the notorious Dogman. The goal of the NADP is to gather as much information about the creature phenomena known as Dogman. The NADP is made up of volunteers in many states on the continental U.S. and growing. The majority of the members have backgrounds in the fields of law enforcement, military, and other crypto groups. We're going to find out what's happening with this creature tonight with Nick. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Mr. Nick Valente, welcome to Spaced Out Radio for the first time. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing really good. It's my pleasure to be on Spaced Out Radio. Program continuing in the tradition of the late great Art Bell. I see.
Well, that's pretty heavy words there, to be honest. We're quite amateur compared to Mr. Bell, the late great. And, what sucks about this field is when the best comes first, we're all playing for second, even though he hasn't been on the air for a while. But thank you so much for the compliment. And I want to learn a little bit about you. You're a retired police officer. How do you go from fighting the criminal arm to fighting the arms of Dogman?
Well, I went from being a police officer in the state of New Jersey to a federal police officer, and I was sheep dipped out of that into another part of the federal government, and I do quite a few things on the side here, but I've been actually in the field of cryptozoology for about 21 years now. I started back in 1990, with the usual Bigfoot, even Mothman back then, the Yeti. Let's see, back then also we had a lot of reports living in New Jersey, the Jersey Devil. I mean, all these things are kind of easy to fall into. For me, it was like a hobby. I was just doing some stuff like that, and people were talking about it, and I was reading some books on it, and it just started to, started to snowball into more and more research, on these things. And it got to the point where I was traveling to different parts of the United States, also into Mexico and over into Canada in search of, these cryptids. I mean, they're really, really interesting. I also started doing a lot of studying. I've read over 60 cryptozoology books. Uh, I've studied biology, archaeology, ecosystems. Last year, I just finished a bachelor's of science degree in zoology, Dave. You have to know animals, real animals that are known before you can actually, identify, a cryptid. You want to be able to tell the difference between one.
Oh, definitely. You want to be able to tell the difference, Nick. And for you, getting out of law enforcement and using those skills to try and track Dogman, is it pretty much the same in tracking down criminals comparatively to tracking down cryptids?
Actually, it is, Dave. It's exactly the same, with a couple of variations. Uh, to me, Dogman and some of these cryptids are way more dangerous than any criminal that I've ever had to track down. I've used the skills that I've learned in law enforcement, and also investigation, because we've had to investigate crime scenes, and I've brought that over into cryptid investigation. Like if you come upon say a cryptid footprint, you just don't go trampling the area. You really have to tape the area off. You have to. My big thing also is I tell everybody, look up, because you don't know what might be in that tree or on top of a building, wherever you found the footprint. You can't just get yourself all excited and say, oh my God, look, I found a footprint, and nobody's looking about security. Because that's a big thing with me. It's safety. You might go out there looking for something, but that something might find you. You might go out there looking for a dog man, and say a bear or a mountain lion finds you. Therefore, you have to be out there with safety in mind. And I do have a lot of safety features built into field investigations when we do go out. But just to get back to, like, if we do find a footprint, for instance, we'll tape it off, and everybody will stay back and be in a security position. You'll take photographs of the footprint, north, south, east, west, and right above it. And then, depending on what kind of footprint it is, say it's a dogman footprint, or we suspect it is, there could be claw marks on a tree. So you're going to first of all, you're going to tape the area off, set security, take photographs. That's the very first thing you're going to do. Then you'll move in, and say in the case of a footprint, whether it be Dogman or Sasquatch, we always carry plaster of Paris. We carry plenty of that stuff around, and we'll make like a print of it. And it does take about 3 hours for that print to dry. In the meantime, we'll go beyond that taped off area, and we'll be looking for other prints and other marks that the animal, or the cryptid in this case, may have left us. So that's just a little synopsis of what we would do when we're out there.
You know what? One of the things I want to get into with you tonight, Nick, because a lot of times we don't talk about the safety of it all, the safety and the dangers of really getting into this cryptid field. Because look, I've seen Bigfoot. I've been close to Bigfoot. Bigfoot doesn't scare me as much as the idea of running into a dogman. I don't know why, but if this dogman creature is out there, and I never carry tennis balls with me into the field, so I'm a little intimidated, because all the stories or reports I have heard over time literally have this creature almost giving telepathic messages to people, especially those with guns, saying, yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea to be pulling the trigger right now. So for you, when we talk safety about going into a cryptid area, what do we got to do? How do we keep ourselves safe?
Well, if you want to talk about full-blown safety measures, and these are safety measures that I myself will take, I will not go in on a full-blown field investigation of a reported encounter that we have. First of all, we're going to research the encounter, research the background, we're going to speak to the people, then we're going to go into the area. But we've researched the area by Google Maps first, and any other reports that we know of. And I'm saying we being 7 people. And I want to make something clear before I speak further, Dave. The North American Dogman Project, of which I am a director of Region 3, we are a no-kill organization. We are not out there to kill any cryptid. We are out there for research and investigation. However, I've always said that you're going to go out there, you do have to take certain precautions, certain measures where your safety is involved, and you will come home. Therefore, I'm going to state, once again, we're a no-kill. But if you have to defend yourself, if you are attacked, you're going to have to defend yourself. Now, by defending yourself, I'm talking about, yes, firearms. And like I said, we would be going into the woods fully equipped, 7 men, or in some cases, I do have a couple of ladies that are fully qualified to come in with us. And now this is a fully blown field investigation, Dave. This is not something, that we're just wandering around in. Like I said, we would have firearms. We're talking about rifles and Glock 10 millimeters, something that would stop a brown bear or grizzly, because you're going in there, you don't know what's going to find you. I mean, we could have, we're walking around the forest for maybe a few hours and a bear comes out. You surprise the bear. It could be a mama bear with her cubs. She's going to be awfully, awfully pissed at you. She might take an aggressive stance. We're not going to fire on that bear unless it comes at us. We do want to be able to get home. Now, a lot of the equipment we do carry is specialized. Some people might laugh at some of the equipment that we're carrying, Dave, but since you ask, I'm going to tell you. The very first thing we have on our chest harnesses, I have 2 bear sprays, one on each side, and we do practice with the bear spray. I mean, it's silly to have a piece of equipment and never practice with it. This is something people just don't understand. You take the bear spray and you have to activate it. How do you activate it? You have to pull a pin. You point and aim and you squirt. And usually you'll have a good range on the bear spray of about 30 feet. Now, a bear can actually run 50 miles an hour on a sprint. And this has been documented. This isn't just something I'm saying. So, I mean, we're talking about something that's awfully dangerous. You might come up against a brown bear or a grizzly bear, especially in your area, and that thing's coming at you. It's weighing close.
Oh, hold on. Skype just decided to quit on us there. Well, that's always nice when Skype does that. We're going to get him right back here. 1 second here. 1 second. I don't know what happened there, but we're going to get him back. We're going to get him back. All right. That was a Skype's. Yeah, we got you.
Oh, when did I drop you off?
You were just talking about grizzly bears, brown bears, and squirting them with pepper spray.
Well, that's the number one thing I would advise anybody that goes into the forest to get is some pepper spray. That's one thing. The other thing, you see what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit them in all their senses. And eyes, ears, nose. The next thing would be hypersonic whistles. I mean, you can get these things on Amazon. They're 136 to 146 decibel whistles. You carry it around your neck on a string, a rope. I mean, people that have, you have families at home and you might have bears in your backyard because you live in a forested area. It's a good thing that your kids might have this whistle. I mean, 136, 146 decibels is going to aggravate any animal, and it might turn them away. Another thing that I'd advise having, and which we do have, is several 4,000 lumen flashlights. What that is you're going to hit them, you'd hit them in the eyes, and that would surely distract them, especially at nighttime. Another thing, a specialty item that I carry is a bear flashbang. Now, a bear flashbang is like a flare gun. The only difference is it fires out 22,000 lumen flash, and it has a very large bang. So that would be something to disrupt any creature out there. I don't care if it's a bear, a mountain lion, a wolf, a coyote, or anything. It should scare them off. Something else I carry is an electronic flashbang. These are spears of polycarbonate, and they emit 146 decibel sound when activated, and they also emit 2,000 lumen flashes. So I usually carry about 5 of those. If you have a charging animal of some sort and you throw them in front of you, it's definitely going to distract something. I mean, I've tried this out. Of course, I've only tried it out on regular dogs, but I'll tell you, it works like a charm.
Remind me never to go partying with you, because I think it's going to be pretty badass. I will tell you that. I will tell you that. But on a serious sense, when it comes to searching these cryptids, I mean, how real is the threat from these, whatever they are? Because we don't know what they are. And that'll start me off in another pet peeve and a tangent that I don't want to get into. But we don't know what these creatures are, whether they are flesh and blood, whether they are supernatural with some sort of characteristic. Yet here we are going into the forest with what could be primitive weaponry, what could be primitive ideas. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I was researching, like I said, Bigfoot, Mothman, Jersey Devil, until one day I had my own encounter. Like yourself, you've had an encounter with Sasquatch. I had an encounter with Dogman in New Jersey. I haven't spoken about this. I never wrote about it, because when you think about it, I don't want people going to this area where I had an encounter less than 30 feet away from me, in an area where you had a Dogman and it was a canine variant 1. We're talking about an apex predator. 7 foot 6 inches, 450 pounds, 5 to 6 inch claws, solid muscle. I mean, we're talking about an apex predator here. I did not want people going into this area because I said I had an encounter and getting themselves in trouble. Just to expand on it, I've spoken about it last week, and I'm going to continue. I'll probably write a post on it. Back in September 13th, 2013, at 11:32 at night, I was driving through a place called the Watchung Reservation in Watchung, New Jersey, and I was taking a shortcut over the mountain to go home. I saw, I have a Wrangler, a Jeep Wrangler, and I have some highlighters on there, heavy duty lights, and I was lighting it up because it's a reservation type area, a park area that's closed at that time of the night. And I saw in the distance, as I was coming around this oval circle, right near a stop sign, there was a bicycle chained to the stop sign, and I saw a very large black creature, and it looked like it was shoving something into its mouth. This was from about 100 feet away. And here I'm thinking, Dave, oh my God, this must be a bear, and I see a bicycle. And I'm putting one and one together, coming up with two, saying, I wonder if this is a human, and this is a bear, and it's eating this human. So I drove up to what I thought was a large bear, and it turns out to be, at the time, I didn't know what it was. I mean, I called it a wolf man at the time. It turns out to be a Dogman, and later on I was able to identify that it was a canine variant 1. It was not eating a human. What it was doing was it was actually eating a part of a deer. And to me, to answer your question, I believe that they are a flesh and blood creature. But I'm thinking that there's more to them than just that.
Okay, so you have this encounter. You've seen one of these things. How far away from it were you?
I was approximately 30 feet away. Now, Dave, the next day I went back. I mean, I'll get back to what happened. But the next day I went back and I took a measurement. it was right near a bicycle that was chained to a stop sign post, and we've got stop sign posts all over New Jersey. But I mean, this one in particular, pretty tall, pretty high up. I measured where I thought the head of this thing was, and it measured just about 7 foot 7 inches tall. So that was the next day when I went. Now let me get back to that night. I got out of the car because I lit it up with all the lights on my Jeep, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm going to be very honest with you. Now, I walked out of my car with a 10 millimeter Glock, and I had bear spray in my other hand because I didn't know what the heck this was. And then I recognized that it was eating a deer. This creature totally ignored me, Dave. Totally ignored me. And believe me, I didn't try to become aggressive with it. Hell no. I was standing there watching it, and I was ready to act if it was going to act. And it just continued chewing, set the leg down that it was chewing on, and just walked off. Now, Dave, here's the attitude I got from it. Now, I'm not saying it gave me a telepathic message or anything like that, but I got this attitude like I was totally insignificant, and it couldn't care less that I was standing there. And it just walked off into the woods.
You know what? It's amazing because I've heard that same expression from people who have encountered Bigfoot that have been snacking on things or in a hunting area and grabbed prey as well, that the Bigfoot really don't care about people being around. They're just there to do their thing. I mean, that amazes me that the creature didn't growl at you or anything like that, kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to do my thing here and wander off.
Yeah, well, that was exactly what it was. And here's something that in all the research that I've done, all the reading I've done on Dogman, something that people don't ever talk about. They're saying, oh, I had an encounter. He was 15 feet away from me, 30 feet away from me. Well, I don't care if he was 40 feet away from you. This one thing I believe you should be mentioning, and that's smell. This thing smelled disgusting. To me, it smelled of a combination of blood and urine. Now, people will say to me, oh, well, that was the dead deer that you were smelling. No, I know what dead deer smell like. As a police officer in a mountainous area in the state of New Jersey for many, many years, I've had to destroy deer. I know what deer smell like that have been hit by cars and everything like that. I've went with I'm not a hunter, but I went with friends of mine as backup when they're out hunting, and I know what it smells like. This thing smelled absolutely disgusting, and like you said, it just walked away. Now, something that I'd like to get into with you later on is that it walked off, and about 150 feet, that's what I'm estimating, from the point where it was standing to when it walked off and disappeared, there was a light in the sky. It was like a glowing orb of sorts that people like to associate with UFOs. Now, there was no orb before, but there was one when it left. And that's something I also noted down in my notes at the time, back in 2013, that I just found totally crazy. I'm like, what is this thing? Now, Dave, I gotta reiterate, I didn't know what a dogman was back then. I knew what a werewolf was, but my God, werewolves are, supposedly humans that turn into wolves, and
right.
They're about the size of the human that they turned into.
Nick, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. We're chasing down Dogman, Jersey Devil, all monster talk all night long here on Spaced Out Radio with our guest tonight from the North American Dogman Project, Nick Valente. We'll be back with more Dogman talk on Spaced Out Radio next. All right, my friend, we're clear, and everybody on YouTube can still hear us chatting, so this is where the small talk happens before we get to the big talk during the show. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Did the creature stink as much as the Canucks, or not? Wow. Wow.
Almost.
Just throwing that shot in there. Hey, Bussy the clown. That's a real prick comment right there. Just taking a shot at the hockey team that's struggling. I see where you're going with that. God, I don't know. I mean, I think I would have crapped my pants seeing that up close. A Dogman, man.
It was something to behold. I just couldn't figure out what it was.
Nate Rudd from Spokane says hello, and he's wondering if you have any recommendations, as his son Corey is addicted to watching the Hallmark Channel.
Tell him to try to pick up the Ion channel, Murdoch Mysteries. I love that show. It's a Canadian police detective show.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Nate Rudd, he's a super good guy over there in Washington State. He's a Bigfoot researcher and investigator. Really good guy.
Yeah, he is. I watched a video of him the other day bench pressing 480 pounds.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Like, what the hell is that all about? 480-pound bench press by Nate Rudd.
He's a total animal, Nate Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
We have some projects that will be going on in the future if this COVID-19 can calm down a little bit. And Nate Rudd is one of the people that I want to invite. I want to have him there along with Jody Cook, who's our founder, the founder of the NADP. And I want to bring in some other big name guys. But with a 480 pound, if he can get that up to 500 pounds, maybe we can talk over there when we get out.
Well, we should also look at, just quickly mention in the chat room that we're going to say hello to Cable Guy Matt. And remember, you can get your free piece of autographed coaxial cable courtesy of Cable Guy Matt. All you got to do is go to our Spaced Out Radio store, go to facebook.com/the SOR Vault, grab yourself a shirt. You're going to get yourself your free piece of coaxial cable. Remember, people, you cannot buy these in stores. Limit one per order. What you're going to do with it, I have no idea. But that's
from autograph?
It is autographed by Cable Guy Matt. See right there.
Oh, man, I love it. Look
yeah.
at that.
Yeah. Cable Guy Matt right there. Right there. Hey, Neil Jones, how you doing? It's just one of those things we do, man. It's one of those things we do. I don't know why, but we do it. Mm-hmm. Literally, Cable Guy Matt is my cable guy. By the way, Cable Guy Matt put a great video on his Facebook the other day of driving around the frozen lake, shooting up snow on his side-by-side. That looked pretty cool. Cable Guy Matt, you got a big question there about the connectors. All right, we've got just over a minute here, Nick.
Okay.
Hey, Nate Foot, that was a sick video that Corey posted, dude. Totally sick video. 480 pounds.
My God.
Holy cow. All right, we want to say thank you to all of our new listeners. We got a bunch of new people in our chat room tonight. Please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by my birthday on May 24th. So you hitting that subscribe button actually helps us get us closer to that goal. Hey, Majorly, remember the thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. The super chat is open. And once again, you can get some Spaced Out Radio swag. We got some cool shirts. Visit our store at facebook.com/the SOR Vault. Here we go with the second half hour coming up right now. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate it. Want to remind you that if you have missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight talking Dogman, monsters. From the North American Dogman Project, we have Nick Valente here with us. Nick, welcome back.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
Oh, doing great.
Excellent. I got to tell you, man, having a close encounter with a Dogman-like creature, how did that change you? I mean, this is something you didn't know the creature existed at that time. You're driving around. You're an investigator by trade. How did that change you when you went through that scenario?
Well, it made me a believer. I didn't know at the time what it was, and it set off a ton more of research. I couldn't figure out what it was. I asked people in the paranormal community if they ever saw something like this. Nobody knew nothing about this. Years go by, and I just happened to be on YouTube, just flicking through it, looking for bodybuilding videos and stuff, a la Nate, right?
Yes.
And trying to figure out how to bench 480 like good old Nate Rudd over there. And I came upon this organization, the NADP, and it says North American Dogman Project, just for shits and giggles, Dave. I clicked on it, and pictures come up, and I'm actually staring at the screen on my laptop, and this canine variant one that I saw, pictures come up of this same thing that I saw, and I'm like, wow, do you actually mean other people saw this thing, out there? And I'm reading about it, and like I said, Jody Cook, the founder of the NADP, it was his channel that it was on, and they were discussing the Dogman. And I'm like, oh my God, other people know about this. So at least I got to put a name to it. It just up, how it changed me. It upped my curiosity. What I did from 2013, September 13th, 2013 on, was I took several teams into that wooded area in the Watchung Reservation, trying to locate this creature. And I have to be honest with you, it was a total negative. I was never able to find it. However, years later, when I did join Jody Cook's NADP, I had it wasn't my encounter, but approximately 900 feet from where I presently live, this lady that I'll call her Mary because she's in the political realm in my county and did not want to be, she doesn't want to be recognized. She doesn't want to ruin her reputation. Just a quick background on her. She's from Colorado. She was a ranch girl. Her father taught her to be tough, shoot guns. She's, always was well around animals. She's doesn't fear too much, but she moved to Jersey, got married, got divorced, got into politics, 6 o'clock in the morning in January 2018, she's walking her 3-pound dog out the back door. Her back door juts right up against a state park. And like I said, she lives about 900 feet away from where I presently live. And what she saw changed her life forever. Her little dog ran out to go do its morning business and came running back and ran right past her, right to the house. And she heard a growl. She looks up. She sees a dog man. And how I know she saw a dog man is because her first reaction was to flash it with her camera. She wasn't trying to take a picture, Dave. She was trying to flash it to give her enough time, and she flashed it twice with her cell phone camera. She had the peace of mind to flash it twice, and she ran into her house along with her little dog. She got her shotgun. That was the first thing she did after locking her doors. The second thing she did was she gave me a call, and that was like at 6:35 in the morning. So she had her encounter at about 6:30. Back in the house, she gave me a call. She knew I was a former police officer. We're neighbors. I see her all the time because I take daily walks, through the neighborhood, just for health benefits. And I got dressed. I got my equipment. I went over to her house. She showed me her cell phone after telling me what happened. And I'm going to tell you, Dave, this changed her life so badly that in 3 days, she moved out, had her house up for sale. And last thing I know from her sister, because I tried to get in touch with her, she moved down to Florida, as far away as she could from here. She quit her job in politics in the county over here, moved all the way down to Florida, put her house up for sale, and that was it. She did not want to be in this area.
My goodness.
So now I want to throw one other thing at you. One day before that, one of my members, because I run the North American Dogman Project Region 3 on Facebook. I can be found. One of my very first members, her real name is Kelly. She called me and she had an encounter. And she lives all the way down in South Jersey, right near the Pine Barren area. So that was like a day before this encounter happened, and I'm wondering whether it was the same one or if there's two. But as far as I'm concerned, that's 3 encounters in the state of New Jersey that I knew of at the time.
Now, is New Jersey a hotbed for dogman sightings?
No, not at all.
So do you think that this creature is migrating into different areas?
I kind of believe it probably is migrating into different areas because, well, just take New Jersey alone. They're building up on areas where, oh my God, 20 years ago was total barren area. Nobody thought they would build in some of these places. Some of the areas that they're putting, I guess they're calling them townhouses. They're putting like 7, 8 football field size construction in areas that were underwater, going back 10, 12 years ago. So the more they're building up, the more they're pushing, the wildlife, further and further away. And they're gonna pop up sooner or later here and there.
Okay, but the fact that you really haven't seen this creature in the New Jersey area, I mean, we've all heard of the Jersey Devil. We've heard of the haunted highways and freeways that are along the Jersey shores and into the mountains. But I mean, Dogman all of a sudden being sighted there. I mean, this seems a little off.
No, it seems totally off. And like I said, I didn't know what this thing was back in 2013. And you go forward 5 years to 2018, and I know about it now, and I get 2 reports within 2 days of each other. But since then, I've had one other report. Kelly made one other report last year in her area. It was a coworker of hers that actually saw one. So there you go. I've got 4 reports that I know of in the state of New Jersey alone. This is not an area that you would figure that you would get any dogman reports at all. Now, Dave, I should backtrack just a teeny bit, if I may.
Please.
The lady I'm calling Mary, who moved, she did sell her house, never came back, never allowed me to contact her. I asked her because I looked at her picture that she took. She took 2 pictures, and one of them came out crystal clear. The other one was kind of blurred. It looked like a canine variant 1. Once again, I asked her to send me that picture. This would have been the find of a century. I'm going to tell you, it would have been totally crazy to have it. But all of her relatives are hiding her. They don't, they're not letting anybody near her. And I guess this lady was totally shocked by what she saw and by what she heard. She heard a growl, and she did see the face of this creature. And she, like I said, she wasn't trying to take a picture of it. She was trying to flash it. And when she flashed it, her camera, must have went off. But she showed me it, and it looked exactly like the one that I saw. So I mean, this is just something else. It's, Jersey Devil is another thing. That was something that I searched the Pine Barrens for close to 5 years, and finally found to my satisfaction what it is. In the introduction, I should mention I'm a 14 researcher, and 14 named after Charles Fort. He's a famous investigator of anomalous phenomenon and cryptozoology, and a field investigator. And what I'm trying to get at is that I try to prove or disprove that these creatures exist. I'm in it for the science of it all. I don't care about the becoming famous. I don't care about making money. I have my own money. I don't need to make any more, really. I just am in this for the science of it. And I'm out there to investigate these reports of cryptozoology and just trying to prove, whether they exist or not. Now, as I told you, I've been to 4 corners of the United States, into Mexico and all here and there, and 2 of the creatures, I don't want to get off the subject of Dogman, but 2 of the creatures that are cryptids, the Chupacabra and the Jersey Devil, I have proven, at least to myself, that they exist and they are not something that are supernatural. So that's, in my investigation out there, at least I've proven that much to myself. Now, the Dogman, that's a totally another subject at this point, because I haven't proven either way. But I do have some theories about it.
Well, what are your theories on what it is?
Well, I say it is a flesh and blood creature, but I'm going to have to drop a name. It's not her real name, but Ashira 7. She's a tulpologist, and that's a tulpologist is a special supernatural researcher. I have to credit her with opening my mind to think outside the box where cryptids are concerned. And to totally answer your question, I have just concluded 6 months of research, of reading old newspaper reports, of reading encounters, of reports any way, which way I can get them. And Dave, it numbered 367 reports total over a 6-month period of time, along with calling people. And a lot of the people didn't want to talk to me about it again, about their encounters, but many did. And here's to answer your question. I know it's a long way around, but it's a very, very involved process. A lot of the Bigfoot and Dogman sightings have started out with a light of some sort in the sky, some sort of an orb, either before the encounter or after the encounter, or both before and after the encounter. Now, like I said, Ashira 7 kind of got my mind thinking, and I'm thinking outside the box here, and I am now relating Bigfoot and Dogman, and possibly other cryptids, let's say Mothman, for instance, with some sort of extraterrestrial. Now, if you think about it, a lot of cases where people will follow, say, Bigfoot footprints into the middle of a field with no trees, okay, and no way out of the field into a forest area. It just suddenly the footprints stop. Now, where did he go? He can't jump like the Hulk, a quarter of a mile. Where did this being go? I'm saying that I want to be open to the fact that they could be in connection with extraterrestrials. Now, I'm not a ufologist, and I don't really study UFOs and the sort, but it's kind of funny that in close to 90% of the cases that I've read, and that's 367 that I've read, researched, called people on, they've seen a white light in the sky before, after, or both times. And Dave, one other thing, 20 minutes to 2 hours after the encounter with a Sasquatch or Dogman, there was a report of a UFO in the sky. And I'm not just talking about a light, I'm talking about some sort of a ship. So, not to be funny about it, but could a Dogman and a Sasquatch be maybe a extraterrestrial's pet that they put down and said, hey, go ahead, go to the bathroom, go pee-pee, or go run around? Could Squatch or a Dogman be a soldier of some sort?
I gotta kick you in the butt right there. We don't squatch on this show.
Oh, okay.
No, we like real research words.
Okay.
All
Bigfoot.
right. Sasquatch works. Bigfoot works.
Sasquatch or Bigfoot? Yeah, Sasquatch, Canadian word. Bigfoot, American word.
I just think the word squatch has cheapened everything that's good about the field.
Okay. It's just my shorthand. I apologize to all the Sasquatch and Bigfoot researchers out there, and especially to you, Nate. He's probably listening in on me and is going to get me tomorrow for it. But I'm just thinking now, maybe they were put here for a reason. It's a possibility. You can never say never when it comes to a cryptid. And it's a possibility that they put them down here to check out our military defenses. It's a possibility they put them down here to check out our water, take soil samples to see what's going on in the earth, to report back. Who knows? But how is it that you have a 12-foot Sasquatch and you have footprints going into the middle of a field? I mean, this is only one report. And suddenly it disappears. Where did he go? I mean, if it walked backwards, you would have evidence of it walking backwards. And
what's funny when you mention that, I had Cliff Barrickman on a couple of months ago, and we got in, and he's a nice guy. He really is a nice guy. But we got into it a little bit regarding the fact that when the footprints stop, he believes that Sasquatch can reverse itself and not create a double print. How impossible is that?
I mean, I know an owl can turn its head around quite a bit, but now he's talking about totally turning it around. Why would he do it? My question to you is, why would a Sasquatch do that? Just to screw with researchers, just to screw with the people that saw him? I fail to see the reasoning behind that. I mean, I can never say never, but that's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to perfectly put your foot in a footprint going backwards. Maybe he's very skilled.
I just want to know how you match up the footprints, like all of the dermal ridges and everything, and not create a secondary print on top of a print.
There you go. There you go. You said it, Dave. You said it right there. The dermal ridges. How can you match them? That's a near impossibility. And say you have 100 footprints, you're going to backtrack 100 times and get it perfect 100 times. I'm sorry. And even though I'm very open to things, the probability of that happening is a gajillion to one.
Well, that's the point I'm making. Look, it's one thing to believe that we are dealing with a flesh and blood creature. I don't know what it is we're dealing with. We're all allowed to have our own opinions of what we are looking for. However, you can't close the door on anything. Like, for instance, I want to know that after I had my Sasquatch encounter in 2013, why a few days later I saw pixelation standing beside a tree up to 10 feet high and getting roared at from that same area. I want to know. That's a lot, or that story goes along with a lot of the First Nations in my area. So, I mean, there is strange things happening with this creature. Like we said, tracks of footprints just stopping in the mud or in the snow where they shouldn't have stopped, or maybe in a field of hay or something along those lines. It just doesn't make sense. And it just seems like because there may be some ridiculous answer to it, we don't want to investigate it. It's taboo.
Now, at the time, it's funny that you had yours in 2013, and I also had my personal one in 2013. That must have been some year. But I wanted to ask you, Dave, was there any sort of, I don't know, for lack of a better word, intersound that reached you when you had that?
Like, are you saying when we saw the pixelation or when we saw the creatures?
When you saw the creatures.
No, nothing.
And no sort of intersound? Any sort of a psychological feeling did you have?
Peaceful. That's the truth of it. It was so calm and so relaxed in that area that my friend and I couldn't believe that what we were seeing, and it was phenomenal.
And they totally ignored you then, right?
Oh, they knew the first one was doing its, the old stare behind a tree and kind of tucking in and out, But my friend didn't see the second one. I saw the second one. So if the first one was at about 100 feet in front of us, the second one was at about, say, about 1 o'clock, 1:30 at about 75 feet.
Estimate a size?
Massive. Minimum 350 pounds. Minimum.
Oh, God, that's a lightweight. Wow.
Yeah, like what I recall, I got a full right side, back, and neck and top of head profile. It never looked at me. I recall, like, I could see the image in my head right now. There was no neck. It had no neck at all. It was just these massive shoulders going right into the head. And then it had the classic, cone-shaped head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And they just left you alone. You think it was anywhere from like 10 to 12 feet?
No, I would say this one was about 7.5 to 8.
Okay.
7 to 8 feet tall. It was big.
Maybe females, maybe young ones.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. It didn't.
Wow.
There was no smell, no nothing. It just walked. What was strange was, when you see animals shaking a tree branch to try and get like the nuts or the berries off.
Yes.
Okay. Before, what caught my attention to look that way, because as I was turning to my right to go down the trail, or to go back down the trail, I saw this tree branch shaking. And that's where the second one walked right through. So in my estimation, there were actually 3 of them there. There was the one 100 feet from us. There was the second one at 75 feet. But there was a third one that was shaking the tree branch. That's what I think, but I never saw the third one because something had to be making that tree branch shake. And I just don't know what it was. All I know is I got a great look at it. And it's one of those things where I definitely want it to happen again because I want to see it. I don't care where, how, and I'm right in the middle of Bigfoot country right here in British Columbia, and be damned if the thing isn't giving me the opportunity to have another look at it. But hopefully, and I remain positive, that it will one day.
So you had a good feeling when you saw it then?
Oh, yeah. Nothing nefarious whatsoever. And Nick, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. This show flies by, Nick. It really does. As we have Nick Valente. He is one of the bigwigs with the North American Dogman Project. He also looks into Bigfoot, looks into the Jersey Devil. If it's a monster or cryptid, Nick is going to be out searching for it because that's just the kind of guy he is. More Dogman talk when we come back for Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio. All right, we're clear. I am just going to run my dogs quickly outside. I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
All right. Bear with me. Hold on.
You have a variety of cool logos to choose from and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
We are scouring.
All right, I'm back. Hey, gorgeous Steph Dickey, how are you? Zenzabil, good to have you here. Who else am I missing here? I think I'm caught up. I always like to make sure I say hello to everybody in our chat room. One of those little things that I do. You got a message there, Nick.
Oh, man. Fan mail.
Fan mail, right on.
Wow, at this time of the night, 104, at least that's the time it is over here.
Hey, Lexi Fox, how you doing? Well, we got 173 people watching right now, live. I am not feeling well.
You look good.
Oh, I look fantastic. Yeah, I look fantastic.
Yeah. Look at this guy. Jeez.
You know, but I am not feeling good right now. Terrible times, how are you? Hey, there he is, everyone. The crankiest man in cryptology, Butch Witkowski. The man, the myth, and the legend all rolled into one. The man who's ready to drop an elbow on any dogman or bipedal canine that comes his way. Hi, Awesome Annie. How are you? Nikki, good to see you, you beautiful thing. Nick N., good to have you here. All right, we've got just under a minute here. 174 people watching. Everybody should have given a thumbs up or down by now. If you're brand new, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button because we want to hit 15,000 subscribers by my birthday, which is May 24th. The Super Chat is open. And do a little shopping at facebook.com/the SOR Vault because we'd love to get a picture of you in some great looking SOR swag. So make sure you check that on out as well. And Nick Valente is our guest tonight. So we're going to get going here in about 5 seconds. Nick, sit tight.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Second hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. We want to welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Revolution Radio. If you want to check out our archives, we have them free for you. Other people charge for them. We don't. They're free for you at youtube.com/spaced out radio. The only thing we ask for in return is hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. We have, what do we got? Lammergeier. Lammergeier is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with Nick Valente tonight from the North American Dogman Project. We're talking Dogman and other cryptids all night long. I got to ask you, Nick, right off the bat here. I mean, you've investigated so many of these encounters. What's the strangest one you've had?
I've actually had a strange one in just over the border of New Jersey into New York. A man called me and he related the demise of his dog, a Belgian Malinois. I mean, these are highly intelligent dogs, very expensive dogs, and this is a specialized type of dog. It was just over the border into New York. I took a team up there to investigate it. The gentleman happens to be how can I put it, a low-end millionaire. He had a 7-foot brick wall around his 6,000 square foot house. And, the 7-foot brick wall encased the entire property. And his dog was allowed to roam here and there, And one day he's calling the dog, which is extremely obedient, and it never came back. His neighbor gives him a call and says, "You better come out here, Art." That's his real name. And Art went out of his property. He went down the road. And as he's going down the road, he saw a rear, I guess you would call it a hind leg of a dog. And it was like a beige brown colored dog color of a leg, and it was blood all over the place. And he wasn't thinking anything of it. So he's driving his Beamer down the street, and he sees another body part. And it looked like to be the back end of a dog. And he's not thinking anything of it again. And he comes upon his buddy, And his buddy says, "Is this your dog?" Because it still had its license, its tag on it. This Belgian Malinois was torn apart. Now, mind you, Dave, this dog was in a yard. I mean, it couldn't jump over the 7-foot brick wall that it was encased in this yard. Somehow, something got into the backyard, grabbed the dog, took off, and tore it apart approximately 400 feet away from the backyard. And this thing tore it apart. It tore the rear end off twice on its way to its final resting place. The guy, Art, who's the dog owner, he was just totally devastated. I mean, he had this dog since it was a puppy, 2.5 months old, had it trained and everything. The dog was with him, 24 hours a day practically, except when it went out in the yard. I mean, it was a horrible sight to see. He took pictures of it and everything. And it was just, to me, I mean, a bear really wouldn't do such a thing like that. It's just not how it would be acting. The Belgian Malinois would have been barking. To me, it's all the signs of a dogman attack. And why it would have attacked this dog, we have no idea. But we did investigate the area. I did see some claw marks on one part of the brick wall, and it was 3 claw marks, and the claw marks were approximately 2.5 inches apart. And so I'm saying, like, if you had, if you spread your fingers out and you grab the top and you clawed the top there. So that was the only thing that we were able to recover from that scene. I mean, it was just a horrible scene. I mean, we saw the pictures and everything. They cleaned it up, but it was just devastating.
But are there bears or wolf packs in that area?
That's just it. There are no wolf packs in that area, and there are no bears. There's nothing in that specific area where this gentleman lives. Like I said, he's a low-end millionaire, and the houses are 5-acre zoning, and they're next to each other, but they're walled off. Most of them have, either brick walls or brick and metal fences, to keep people out. We had to call him when we got to the man's house, and he had to open up the gate, via remote control and everything. If you were to look at it, it's just like all houses. The only trees were small trees that are in their areas. There's nothing, there's no farm animals, nothing like that.
Right. A good question from our audience from Long Island Bigfoot, who is asking, why would this gentleman feel the need to call the North American Dogman Project on this?
That was a good question, but I did ask him that question. And he had a friend of his that was into cryptozoology, and he advised him to look us up. Now, we do have a New York chapter, but the New York chapter, I guess, doesn't really go out on cases like this, and it is closer to New Jersey. But he had a friend that told him about it after he told his story, and that was it. They did call the police, and the police said that it looked like it was some sort of a mountain lion attack or something like that. But I just can't see that. I couldn't see that at all.
And nobody heard the dog squelching, screaming, yelping, anything?
Nothing. Dave, zero. We questioned him several times on that. It was the gentleman, his wife, and they have 2 sons. 2 sons, one 18, one 20. And it was in the summertime. Screens were open on the windows were open. The screens were just shut. That was it. You could hear through there. Not a yelp, not a scream, nothing. Nothing from this dog.
See, because I'm looking at it from my point of view. I got about half an acre, and then in behind me I have a green belt. And I've had cougars walking through my yard. I've had bears walking through my yard, tons of deer, foxes, coyotes. And when I let my dogs out, if there is anything around, they are barking or they are growling and their hackles are getting up. And, I recall one incident where I saw a cougar walking in my neighbor's yard, and I was on my patio with my dog, probably 150, 200 feet away. But watching my dog go into that guardian growl that he had, I'd never really heard that before. It was impressive to watch the dog do that. So for a Malinois dog, which is a guard dog,
right?
That takes its job very seriously, because that's what that breed is bred for. It amazes me that there was absolutely no sound, no barking, no nothing.
There was nothing, absolutely nothing, which sort of leads me to believe that it was hit fast, furious, and that was it. It took it away. That's the only answer I could have come up with. I mean, we're talking once again about an apex predator. And these things are highly muscled, extremely fast. From all reports I've had, they're extremely fast. So it wouldn't surprise me. But to have attacked this dog, I have no idea why, the reasoning behind this. But like I said, this is an extremely wealthy area. I might be giving out too much information because people will be able to look it up in Google probably and know where I'm talking about. Extremely wealthy area, 5-acre zoning, meaning you have to own 5 acres minimum to put a house on it. And there's houses and houses all over the place, and there's really no forest area. There's not even a stream near the area. It's a highly built up area.
Was this an incident that happened in the day or night?
This was daytime. This was the daytime, and it was during the summertime. Windows were open. Screens were closed, to let the air in. So this was totally amazing that something like this happened in that area, and like you said, to that type of an animal without even so much as a yelp.
Nick, in regards to other encounters that you have taken reports on, how close is the closest you've come to having a report come in where all of a sudden, like, was it an hour or 2 hours, maybe a day, a week before you're able to get on scene?
Well, that's just it. A lot of times these reports are not in my state of New Jersey, and I do like to take a team out. So the closest I've ever had, and we had a response time of 3 days. So that was the closest time frame that we've ever had, because I had to gather a team up. The way the report came over, first of all, it was in Virginia. Second of all, the way the report came over was that it was there. It tore up 2 of their animals, and I believe they were both goats, and that it did not leave the area. It came back. And the person called up twice in reference to, the situation. And I mean, they were in a panic. My first thing is call law enforcement. You want to be able to get them out there, to safeguard the people. They did that, and they couldn't explain it. The officers couldn't explain what happened. We did go out. We did go out and we did investigate, but it did take us quite a while. It's a bit of a drive from Jersey all the way down to Virginia.
No, and I can understand that and appreciate that. My question to you is this: how come when it comes to Bigfoot, we don't see Bigfoot destroying a lot of things? Yet with Dogman, we see, or we've heard reports of cars getting scraped up on the paint. We've heard of barns being ripped apart, fences being ripped apart. Like, this thing is just extremely aggressive in nature. Have you noticed that as well?
Absolutely, Dave. I've absolutely noticed that. I know, for instance, that there is a particular Sasquatch type creature. Maybe I'm mispronouncing it. Gui. That is an aggressive Sasquatch. And out of all the Sasquatch, Bigfoot encounters that I've read about, or even spoken with people about, that is the only one that is aggressive that will actually go at a human. Dogman, on the other hand, you'll hear where they're scratching on the doors, trying to get in, looking in windows, tearing apart chickens, goats. In the case where I investigated, a dog. It's highly aggressive. It's an apex predator. I guess it would be like comparing a timber wolf with a domesticated cat. You know, it's just aggressive. It's very aggressive in nature.
Do we hear of this creature, though, attacking people? Because every time, you know, we have Butch Witkowski on here once a month, and one of the things that he states is that when this creature seems to be around people, it almost gives them like a telepathic type message saying, it's time for you to leave. Like,
you're talking about the Dogman now.
Dogman, yes.
Okay. Well, I've been asked this question many times, why we don't have more reports of human deaths. I say, and this is my theory is that the Dogman, just like the Sasquatch, are intelligent, and they're intelligent enough to realize that humans, being the humans that we are, being the destructive things that we can be, if we find out that there's a lot of people being killed by a certain type of a creature, well, I think that they know that the human race would put 100% effort into hunting down and destroying them. So they're trying to actually stay way under the radar. Why they're here, where they are, what they're doing, I really can't answer that at this point, but I do think they're intelligent enough to be able to play hide and seek with us and not allow us to find them.
So what do you think about the idea that, and I've talked to Jody about this, and Jody's heard these reports as well, about people who have these close encounters who tend to get these telepathic messages from the creature?
Yes, now that's sometimes, not always. That's not the exception, and it's not the rule, really. It's sometimes people are getting these messages, and sometimes they're not. With Sasquatch, for instance, there's a lot of that intersound where people will actually lose hours of their day after their encounter, and they'll wind up someplace else. Then this is what I found in interviewing people when I was doing the Sasquatch research out in Oregon, out in Washington State, and even in Texas. The same thing. Many of these people said that they lost hours of time out of their day after they saw the Sasquatch. Now, yeah, they could be getting warning signs. I didn't. I'll tell you that right now. I got no warning sign. The only thing I saw, like I said, was that it was totally looking at me like I'm insignificant. And it didn't look at me, but it was regarding me as being insignificant, that I was nothing. And I don't understand how, because I lit it up with KC highlighters and my high beams and everything. And, you know, trying to see what it was, and totally ignored me and just totally walked out. But I got no telepathic message. I only got the feeling that it didn't care that I was standing there.
Okay, so with Dogman, what kind of clues have you found, or what kind of clues could people look for in case they're in an area where there have been Dogman encounters?
Well, the basic clues from my interviews of people, the basic clues have been footprints, and you can tell the difference between let's say a bear footprint and a Dogman footprint, and claw marks on a tree. Now, most bears have very thick nails. They're about 3 inches long. Dogman generally has been reported to have 5 to 6 inch long nails. And their claw mark would be more separated. What I'm saying that is, if you saw a claw mark on a tree that is made by a Dogman, it would be more separated from, like, say, the center portion, the tips in the center portion, than would be if a bear made the mark. I've been called to areas where they said, oh yeah, it was a Dogman, and it actually turned out to be a bear claw that was on the tree. So that's two of the things that we've looked for. Something I wanted to mention is that, there have been two documented cases, one where people actually died, from a dogman attack. I mean, you'll hear dogman, trying to rip apart barns and animals and trying to get into a house or look in a window. But two deaths, well, not two deaths, but 4 people in one case and 1 person in another case. 1977 in West Virginia, a farmer, he was killed by a dogman. And in early 1980s, land between the lakes, Tennessee, that was reported. And that case is actually still quite a mystery. A family of 4 were killed in LBL. And it was really strange because the father had a shotgun. He didn't get off a shot. His arm was torn right off of his body. His wife was in their mobile trailer. She looks like she put up a fight because there was parts of the animal's hair underneath her fingernails, and there were claw marks on the walls inside the trailer. The son was found by the creature and killed. And then the daughter, a young girl, this is the part where I'm saying no, it wasn't a bear and it wasn't a wolf. She was actually carried off and found about 300 feet away in a tree, Dave. She was found dead in a tree. Now, any single animal could have done any single of those attacks, but there's not one animal that would have done all of them. And what I'm saying is a bear would have torn the husband apart and the wife apart. And yeah, a bear can climb up a tree, but a bear generally doesn't take its kill up a tree. It eats it right there.
Mountain lions do.
That's what I was just going to say. A mountain lion will take its prey up into a tree. It can take a 150-pound deer into a tree easy. But the claw marks inside the trailer, the fact that the man didn't get a shot off with his shotgun and he had his arm torn off, and the mother that was killed. By the way, what evidence was underneath her fingernails from the fight with the animal or the creature, whatever you want to call it, they could not identify it. They could not identify it. They said it was some canine, but they couldn't identify what kind. That was in land between the lakes in Tennessee.
My goodness.
Which, by the way, I'd like to mention that God willing, and the COVID coming down quite a bit, we're looking to take a research and a field investigation team into LBL, Tennessee, sometimes later this summer in 2021.
Is there still a lot of sightings in that area of the creature?
There are some sightings still reported. There's also some buildings over there. There's this place they call the hotel. It's a building for some odd reason that it's out in the middle of LBL. It's abandoned right now, but that's one place. I've gotten a couple of reports from people that live in Tennessee and over the border in Kentucky, where there's LBL also, that there's still reports of dogman activity. So we're looking forward to bringing a research team out there and, boots on the ground type thing.
That sounds incredible. And that's something I would love to do. But I gotta find Bigfoot and Dogman in my area first.
Oh, okay.
Before I
will send you an invite.
Yeah, I would love to. And I'm trying to get in touch with the Bigfoot around here, except they're not picking up their phone very much. But we'll see what happens in our gifting site after the snow melts and we're able to get into that area. Nick, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. We have Nick Valente from the North American Dogman Project. More Dogman talk, more monster talk. Let's find out about the Jersey Devil when we come back on Spaced Out Radio.
They can't hear.
All right,
me,
we're clear.
Okay, good.
Yeah, YouTube can hear us.
They're not gonna. A lot of people aren't gonna like me after the Jersey Devil one.
That's all right. But it is my time of the night, my friend, where I have to remind my audience that my beard looks as good as it does because I use Mighty Moose beard oil. I got the regular right there. I've got the winter blend right there. You just go to mightymoosebeard.com. Let me show you how easy this stuff is. And ladies, this isn't just beard oil. It's good for your hair as well. Helps with split ends. Just give a little squirt there. I'm using the winter blend tonight. Give a little drops in your hand, just like so. Make sure you put the lid back on and tighten it so you don't spill the bottle. Then you just kind of rub it together in your hands. Oh, it smells good. All natural, too. No chemicals. And you just massage it in. Just massage it in. Just like that. Massage it in. That's it. That's all you do for a great feeling beard. And then what you do with the rest of it is you just see, you still got it on the hands. Just massage it into your hair. Your hair soaks it all up. Just like that. Soaks it all up. Stops the split ends, makes your hair smell great, lively. It's all good for you. MightyMooseBeard.com. Tell Gary the Dutchman that Dave sent you by using promo code SOR2019. And good thing for our American listeners, all right, it's all in Canadian dollars. So like a $20 purchase is like $16. So check it on out, MightyMooseBeard.com. Use your promo code SOR2019, and you'll be able to, take care of your beard and or ladies, your hair, and it'll look good. It really will. I promise you. Totally promise you. Yeah, there's my shameless plug for the day. Hey, Overbuilt, how are you doing? Who else do we got here that's new? Barry Browning, welcome to our chat room. Randy Spurl, good to have you back. We scroll back in the chat room here. Kevin Lemoonlicht, welcome back. Drake, good to see you. Yeah, the Michael Leger, just go to MightyMooseBeard.com. That's all you got to do. Hi, gorgeous Dolly, how are you? Anita Torres, welcome to our chat room. Let's give her a clap for her first time here. Anita Torres, everyone. Anita Torres, there she is. Alan Moccasin, good to have you back. Thank you for joining us. All right, so for everybody who's new here, I just want to kind of explain how it works. So we're not a podcast. We're an actual radio show. So right now we're on break for the radio stations. That's why we have this entire dead time of air here where I do things like the beard oil and other stuff. And so that's kind of what we do here. So we'll come back in a little bit here. We take commercial breaks every 30 minutes. So I hope you don't mind. We got a big question for you, though, Nick. Major question. We ask all first-time guests on this show this question. Don't screw it up. All right. What's your opinion of eating breakfast foods for dinner?
Definitely, I do it. Every Saturday, we have home fries, eggs, and I switched to turkey bacon, but I cook it really well, so it almost tastes like real bacon. Definitely something great.
Not liking that. Not liking that.
It's the lazy man's dinner, believe me.
I know, but the breakfast foods are made for breakfast. That's why they're titled breakfast foods. Son of a bitch. Oh, I don't.
Feed me to the Sasquatch for that one.
Remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Oh, yeah.
Devil's Tower. Are you on Team Stump or are you on Team Rock?
Oh, was that one for me?
Yeah.
I like Team Stump.
Well, you're 1 for 2. You're 1 for 2.
Yay!
You're 1 for 2. All right, my friend. Hold on. We're going to get going here in about 15 seconds. Thank you to everybody who's new, tuning on in and hitting that subscribe button. We want 15,000 subscribers by my birthday on May 24th. Super Chat is open, and you can do some shopping at the SOR Vault. Go to facebook.com/the SOR Vault. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you so much for tuning us in. My name is Dave Scott. I'm the guy behind the microphone. Fantastic hair and beard, even though the rest of me's gone to hell. But nonetheless, you only get to hear my voice, and that's all that matters, as we are talking Dogman, Jersey Devil, all sorts of monsters all night long with our guest, Nick Valente from the North American Dogman Project. Nick, welcome back.
Hey, Dave.
All right. I got to ask you, as we kind of close down the Dogman, do you think we're any closer to finding the true nature of these creatures? Anything cryptid?
Well, if you're talking about Dogman specifically, or maybe Sasquatch, I think we're much closer. With the technology that we're using out there nowadays, we're getting a lot closer because we're getting clearer pictures. The one thing I can't stand is a blurry picture, of a cryptid. And we're getting clearer and clearer pictures with all these field cams and stuff that people are putting out there. Plus, we're having a lot more success with night vision that we have. So that's putting people out there at nighttime. It's going to be putting them out there at more risk if they don't know what they're doing, but it's putting them out there at nighttime and they're able to see more things. So I think with the technology, we're actually getting a bit closer.
I want to ask you, and before we move on to the Jersey Devil, I want to ask you this one final question here. All right. There's a lot of people out there who will be affected if any of these creatures are proven in existence. Bigfoot, Dogman. And, I talked with a Canadian government official about this. And one of the things that happens here in Canada, I know it happens in the United States as well, is these creatures, when they are found, or if any new species of creature or endangered species is found in an area, those areas are immediately shut down. They're shut down to campers, they're shut down to hunters, they're shut down to any type of industry, from forestry to mining to fishing. There's a lot riding on the lines because scientific study needs to happen in those areas to try and find migration routes, sleeping routes, what the creature is preying on for food. There's a lot of financial implications with proving an existence of a creature like this. So is it actually beneficial for this creature to be brought out to public saying, hey, we have these monsters, whether it's Bigfoot or Dogman, in the area, we have to take care of this?
My answer is no, it's not beneficial. I know that I'm part of the, I guess you would say, problem, because I'm out there searching for them, but it's actually not a good thing. I mean, if they're not actually bad, and they're not actually part of an extraterrestrial advanced force of some sort, I think that by finding these creatures, it could be to their detriment. I mean, look at creatures like, let's pick, for instance, the Komodo dragon. They're only on 4 islands in Indonesia, and they went from having a population of 1,500 down to a population of 800. I mean, people have gone out there and hunted them. They've gone out there, taken them to put them in zoos and the like. In one way, discovering a creature and saying, aha, now it's a zoological creature. It's something that scientists are going to claim. One one way it's a good thing, and one way it's a bad thing. Just remember something about Sasquatch. Since the 1800s, there were 800 sightings of Sasquatch in Canada and 3,000 sightings of Sasquatch in the United States. What does that mean to you? What it should mean to you is that a lot of people are going to go out there and try to find it. And what does that mean when people go out and try to find it? They're spending money. So it's going to hurt the tourist trade, believe it or not. I mean, all the places you go in Washington and Oregon and in Texas and up into Canada, and you'll be able to get practically any place a statue of a Sasquatch, an imprint of a Sasquatch. It's the economy. It's part of the economics. Scotland, for instance, with Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, $65 million a year is spent on the economy over there, and people coming over there to try to look for Nessie. $65 million a year, just to look for something that doesn't exist. People are vacationing out there. They're renting cars. They're renting, hotels. They're eating. They're bringing tourist trade over there, but it's specifically for that. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways that this is going to affect things. If suddenly somebody finds a Sasquatch and puts them in a zoo, and it just, I don't know. The effects can be devastating.
Well, I understand that, but there's millions of dollars at stake. I know here where I live in a mining and a forestry community, and I know people who have been chased out of logging areas by these creatures. There was one a couple of years ago where half the logging crew didn't go back because all of their millions of dollars of equipment had giant boulders thrown against them and giant dents in it. Like you take one of those tractors that they use, it's probably $500,000 to $1 million, probably stands 12, 14, 15, 16 feet high, and all of a sudden there's a giant boulder dent in the middle, and you see the 350, 400-pound boulder laying in front of it. They saw footprints. They saw everything. Now, they're not allowed to go and mention anything, because that's their mortgage payments, that's their dinner, that's their clothes on their children for school. The heat in their houses come wintertime.
Almost definitely, yeah. If the government shuts them down, then what are they going to do?
Exactly, and each one of those plots, of logging areas is probably worth a couple $1 million. Oh
yeah.
So when you put a financial aspect on proving the existence of Dogman or Bigfoot, you could be potentially killing an economy. Now, of course, there are those out there who will say point blank that maybe that's what needs to happen to shut down some of these horrid traditions of logging and mining and other things. But until we don't need those products anymore, until we're not needing toilet paper made of paper, until we're not needing houses to be built from wood and other structures, it's going to continue being what it is. So, I mean, literally, if I had a logging crew and I'm like, okay, there's all these signs out there that there's something strange, or, my equipment's being dented by whatever, I am sure as heck getting my money before I'm going to worry about getting chased off by this creature.
Yeah, you're going to want everybody to keep quiet, and you're going to explain to them that, hey, your jobs are on the line. If the government rolls in here, if the men in black from the government come in here and they say, we're shutting you down because it's a danger to everybody, then you guys are all out of a job. So you're right, Dave. You're definitely 100 spot on. They're going to close down the logging, and they're going to close everything down, and that's the end of that.
Oh, for sure.
It's not something they're going to want.
No, I fully understand with where you're going, and I don't agree with it. I think there can be both, but I mean, the government would want to bring in their studies, their scientists. Like I stated earlier, to bring in, what are they eating? Where are they bedding down? Are they migratory? I mean, these are all studies, and those areas and those studies take years. It's not just something that's done in 2-3 weeks. It takes years.
Oh, exactly. And in the United States, the government just came out with not a ton of information, but they just started to squeak out a little bit of information about the fact that, yeah, maybe there could be extraterrestrials out there. Really? The government is actually saying that now? Like you're saying, when people get too close and word gets out to the government, they shut you down. As you mentioned, the founder of the NADP, Jody Cook. Jody has been the victim of just such a how can I put it, a men in black type of reaction. He was coming close on certain things, and they shut him down right away. And it wasn't just one or two or three things. It was several things that happened to him. And I'll leave that for him to explain it on another time. But you're right. You're absolutely right. They're going to come out and they're going to shut it down, and then that's it. But, when you're getting close, they don't want you to get close if they find out.
Very true. Very true. Moving on here, I want to talk a little bit about the Jersey Devil, because this is the big cryptid from where you are from in New Jersey. So I'm curious, for people who may not be familiar with this one, what exactly is it?
From the descriptions, a Jersey Devil, it has like the head of a horse, wings like a bat. It's got spiny legs. It can fly, and it makes a nasty noise. Very ugly looking creature. And just to once again state my mantra to prove or disprove, and since I live in the state of New Jersey, and since the Jersey Devil was always found, I mean, he was also found in Pennsylvania, but he's mainly found in the Pine Barrens. And the Pine Barrens are like over 1 million acres of land, and it stretches through 7 different counties. Just to give you a quick history, the origin of the Jersey Devil dates back to like the 18th century, and there's like dozens of variations to the story. And there's 2 very popular stories. One you may have heard of, dealing with Mrs. Leeds, but there's another lady, a Mrs. Shrouds, who lived in Leeds Point, New Jersey. Mind you, this is back in the 18th century. And it stated that when she said that if I have another child, she had like 12 of them to begin with, that she'd wish it to be a devil. And sure enough, her next child was born deformed. And one day, this child spread its wings, flapped them, and just flew out the chimney. Now, there was another story in Esterville, New Jersey, which is, again, down in the Pine Barrens. And Mother Leeds, Mrs. Leeds, she was finding out that she was pregnant again with her 13th child, and she said, I'd rather give birth to the devil himself. Okay, her baby was later born with wings, a tail, a horse-like head, and Mrs. Leeds kept demanding that the creature leave. So it would go away, and it would come back. It would always come back. And then one day, it finally did leave for good. And the stories all have one thing in common. Leeds as the birthplace or the mother. So it's either the Jersey Devil was born in Leeds Point, New Jersey, or Mrs. Leeds was the mother, one or two of the others. Now, me hearing about this, and this being in New Jersey, I would travel down South Jersey and go through the Pine Barrens with a team of guys and fellow investigators, rather, I should call them. And for 5 years, we searched that area. And mainly, we found a lot of poison oak. We found a lot of snakes. We never came across the Jersey Devil until one day I was out there with a short team, meaning just 3 guys. And we came across a gentleman who owned 40 acres in the Pine Barren areas, like a sort of a little farm type thing. He had a nice sized barn. It was about a 50 by 100. He had a nice house, 3-bedroom house and everything. And he asked us what we were doing out there, and I was very frank with him. I told him, I says, we've been coming out here, maybe 7, 8 times a year during each of the seasons, whether it be winter, summer, spring, or fall, wouldn't matter. And we're trying to track down the Jersey Devil. I mean, we went to bookstores in the area. We went to the local newspapers. We went to the libraries trying to get information on it and everything. I told the gentleman, I told him what happened. And he's looking at us like we've got 3 heads. And he says, I can tell you exactly what the Jersey Devil is. And he goes, I actually have a body. So, I mean, when he told us that, I was totally thrilled. And I said, gee, could you show us? He took us over to his barn, and he had packed in dry ice in a little chest-like cabinet. Well, little, it was about 4 feet by 3 feet wide. He had, I'm gonna tell you guys about this now. People are not gonna like me because I'm gonna blow their mind about what the Jersey Devil actually is. He showed us what it was. He had a creature that was dead. He had found it in his field. It was a little bit over 3.5 feet tall. What it was is a horse bat. I know you're on the edge of your seat over there, Dave, but if you look up a horse bat, you'll see what a horse bat looks like. It has the face of a horse. It has wings like a bat, and it has spindly legs. And here he had this thing, and he was telling us about this fellow back in the 1800s that used to travel around with a supposed Yeti type Sasquatch, and he would have a traveling like circus thing showing people, and he wanted to find out who he could sell this so-called Jersey Devil to, and basically all it was is a horse bat. Now, some people have questioned on it and said, oh, horse bats, they're not indigenous to South Jersey. Well, my answer is that people bring exotic pets. They bring all kinds of things from other countries. They've done that over the years. I mean, how many times have I've heard stories or read about stories of a snake being in a toilet, a large snake, maybe 5 feet long, some sort of a python, in a toilet in an apartment complex in New York City.
That is one of my nightmares, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I mean, can you imagine? Oh, I ran out of toilet paper. Call up the snake. But yeah, I mean, in England, they've got reports of Black Panthers. You shouldn't have Black Panthers over in England, right? But people have exotic pets. Down in South Jersey, until we found out what was going on, there were reports of tigers. And it was a real report, by the way, Dave, because there was a lady in South Jersey that had tigers on her land. She had a very complex fenced-in situation around her house, and she actually had like 7 tigers. I mean, people bring these things over from other countries some way, somehow, over the years. And when they don't want them anymore, or maybe the animal escapes, gets lost or whatever, well, they turn up someplace. And that's what happens usually with these things. But he showed us something that I compared with pictures of the Jersey Devil that people had drawings of it over the years, and it looks like a horse bat. And this thing was a little bit over 3.5 feet tall. So there you go. I just blew everybody's mind about
you're breaking hearts.
The Jersey Devil is.
You're breaking hearts.
And everything. It's sad.
There goes the dream at the night of the prom, thanks to you. Absolutely out there. Do you think, though, that a lot of people who claim to have interaction with this creature, I always worry about tulpas, whether or not people are creating them in their own mind.
Right.
And, Hat Man, I believe, is like that. The Siren Head is much like that. We see a lot of that happening. I'm just curious what your thoughts about that are.
that's like, I don't know if you're comparing it to mass hysteria or people are convincing themselves that it's real, but I mean, look at all the sightings from the 1800s to 1995 of Bigfoot in the state of California and Oregon. How could 3,000 people make up the same thing? And they're describing the same thing, and they're describing different parts of it. They're finding pieces of hair in like barbed wire fences and on trees and everything, and they can't identify the species. How could, and 3,000 is only the amount of people that came forth and reported it and said, hey, I saw something. What about all the other people that saw something and are just trying to keep quiet about it? I had a report today, just this morning. One of my admins on my NADP site called me up. And Karen called me up about 8:30 this morning saying, we have an emergency going on. This man he's hearing these howlings, and he's telling me it's not a wolf, it's not a bear, it's not a mountain lion. He lives in I shouldn't say it, but I just said it, Easton, Pennsylvania, right? And he's having all these strange things happening, and he's in a panic. So I ran downstairs, got on the computer, I typed a message off to him. He responded to me right away. He doesn't want his name known. He doesn't want fame. He doesn't want fortune. He doesn't want anything. He doesn't want people interviewing him. He just wants to know how to defend his family. So my first thing is like what I tell anybody. First thing I want you to do is I want you to go out there and get yourself 2, 3, or 4 cans of bear spray, number one. Number two, I told him to get some lights that will go on and off, high-powered lights, put it on all corners of your house, especially in the back where he was having the problem. Number 3, I asked him to go out and get himself some red pepper and to sprinkle it on the windowsills and all around the back deck area. If it's a bear, the bear's not going to like that black pepper too much. But he's swearing to me it's not a bear, Dave. The howling that he heard, and he's telling me that he's been out hunting for many, many years, and he's never heard this kind of a howl. Because I questioned him, I says, could it be a wolf? Because you do have wolf in the area. And he says it's not like any wolf he's ever heard. I mean, this man was actually extremely afraid for himself and his family.
See, the fact that this gentleman has outdoor experiences, we've got about 90 seconds before we have to go to break.
Right.
That gives me a little bit more credence to his story. Like I look at my buddy Mark, okay? Mark is he's been a wolf tracker, he's been a cougar tracker, he's been a hunting guide, spent the last 35 years out in the bush, trying to hunt animals. And when he says he sees something weird or hears something weird, I listen because they have that experience. And there, with this guy apparently having that experience, there's no reason not to trust him on it.
Exactly. I mean, he does know the difference between a wolf call and something that's not a wolf call, and he can't explain it to me. But, I told him a bunch of safeguards to do, and he promised me he was going to go out and start to implement it all. And one of the big things, too, because he does have kids, I told him about the hypersonic whistle, that they could put it on a rope and put it around their necks. Well, the whistles come with ropes. You can put it around your neck and blow that whistle. If one of his kids sees it, he blows the whistle, Dad and Mom come running. And I guess you have to break, huh?
Well, I mean, we're going to continue talking about this story and more when we come back, because, I mean, this is the stuff I love. This is the stuff I absolutely love, is hearing things where these encounters with people are freaking people out. I mean, would we all want to live it? I don't know. I don't know if I would, but then again, I am a weirdo, and there's a good chance I might. Nick Valente is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We've been talking Bigfoot. We talked a little bit about the Jersey Devil, a little bit about Dogman. We got him for another 30 minutes here on the Mighty SOR, and then we'll do it all again as we get to the news at the bottom of the hour. We get to the thought of the day. Stay tuned. A jam-packed Hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio is coming up next. All right, my friend, I'm going to quickly run my dogs out. I'll be right back, okay?
Okey-doke.
Carl, don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the story you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR space traveler.
I am back. Thank you to Razgriz, Dolly, and Howard for the amazing super chats. Really do appreciate the love and support of Spaced Out Radio, guys. Thank you so much. Treehouse, where you been hiding lately? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Bee's Nest, good to see you. Nick, your voice sounds beautiful tonight.
All right.
I'm having a lot of fun, man. Thank you for doing this. Let's see here. A question. Michael Leger. Yeah, I'm feeling... I had an anxiety attack earlier today. Just things were not going well in the studio, and I had a little freak out session where my anxiety built up really, really bad. So, still trying to calm down from it. That's okay. We're getting there. Dave Drake, where do you stand on this regards to breakfast for dinner issue? I eat breakfast as my first meal regardless of what time it is. Well, it all depends what time you're getting up. Randy. I do have a daytime job too, Randy. I do have a daytime job too. So I just took a few days off here to enjoy some time off from my daytime. So usually I'm working about 16 hours a day. So, yeah. Hold on, guys. We are going to come back in about 30 seconds. Remember, if you're new to this channel, listening in for the first time, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We'd like to get 15,000 subscribers by May 24th. We're at 10,524 before the show. Vinster, thank you so much for that amazing super chat, dude. Wow. You're just amazing. You treat us too well. Too well. All right, guys. Here we go with the final half hour with Nick.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Lammergeier. Lammergeier is our password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on for the final time tonight. We introduce Nick Valente. He's part of the North American Dogman Project. Searching and finding cryptids is his game, and this is what he does. Aren't you supposed to be retired and enjoying life instead of chasing these monsters down, Nick?
Sure, but I made my money early so that I was able to, let's say, travel around the country and investigate these interesting cryptid creatures.
Now, a lot of people will say that sounds like a lot of fun. Is it fun or is it work?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot. It's just a ton of work. And people think, oh yeah, you can become a dogman specialist. I mean, this was what one of my members threw at me the other day. Oh, how do you become a dogman specialist? There's no such thing. You can't get a degree in that. Oh, really? If anybody watched the Super Bowl yesterday, Tom Brady gave an interview before it, and somebody asked him, how do I become a great football player? He told them, practice and learn your craft. Okay? And it's practice, practice, practice. Well, to become a dogman specialist, not so easy. You got to know your subject, which means you got to read. You got to read every book you can get your hand on. You got to read every article on Dogman you can possibly find. You got to study and research. You got to do field investigations because, after all, if you're a keyboard warrior, you're not going to get anywhere. Any Dogman sightings, you got to go out there and check them out. You got to take witness statements. You got to speak to people, interview people about their encounters, newspaper stories on Dogman sightings, even old ones. I mean, Dogman goes back into the 1800s where two loggers first saw a Dogman. I mean, so he's been around for quite a while. We just never put a moniker on him, until recently. But it's to totally answer your question, it's a lot of fun, but at times it could be quite dangerous. If you're out there with the wrong people, And luckily for me, I get to pick who I go out with. And that's where I tell people that it's not all fun and games, because you might be going out there looking for Dogman and Dogman finds you. And then let me ask you a question. What's your game plan then? Or say Dogman doesn't find you and a bear or a mountain lion finds you. Once again, what's your game plan? What are you going to do? At least I go out there with enough defensive items to defend myself and, you know, the people that are with me. We all train. We all have backgrounds. We don't panic. There have been times where we've come across a mountain lion. I was on 2 different occasions, and 3 different occasions we came across bear that saw us first. Nobody ran. You know, the old joke, Dave, is that I don't have to be able to outrun the bear. I just have to be able to outrun you guys. Well, I can run pretty damn fast, but I'm not going to do that. We all stood our ground. The bears all went on their ways. Nobody got harmed. Nobody got injured. But yeah, it could be quite dangerous out there. People are thinking, oh yeah, let's go get the kids and go out for a stroll in the forest. I mean, my God, you got to be kidding me. What happens if you get attacked by a coyote or something, you know, or there is a mountain lion out there? What's going to happen? Facebook had a video, I believe it was last month, of a bicycle rider that was riding on a path, and a mountain lion came out, and it kept coming forward on him, and kept coming forward on him, and kept coming forward. Somehow he got it to back off. But I mean, we're talking about a very, very large cat that can tear you apart, you know, and then possibly bring you up a tree and eat you while it's up there. So I mean, no, it could be possibly very dangerous.
No, that's very, very true. And I got a question from Lexi in our chat room for you. A little bit off topic, but okay. Lexi is asking, have you looked into any Thunderbird sightings?
Ah, yes. Thunderbird sightings are very interesting. That is one thing that Native Americans, Indians, will talk to you about. They will not talk to you about skinwalkers and shapeshifters, because they believe that it's, you know, if you do talk about a skinwalker and a shapeshifter, they'll appear and they'll get hurt and they'll get injured and things will happen to them. But Thunderbirds, the Native American Indians never feared them. They always looked upon them as a good sign. And they say that when a Thunderbird flaps its wings, it's like giant thunder. And it's just a good sign when a Thunderbird would come around in their area. Now, I did look into it, and the descriptions that most witnesses say are kind of, you know, I'm not trying to debunk everything, but I do look for the truth. And like I said, to prove or disprove. The descriptions that they're saying are, you know, 25-foot wingspans. I mean, we haven't had 25, 30-foot wingspans since the dinosaurs. A wandering albatross's wingspan is 12 feet. I mean, you can look this up. A condor's wingspan, 10.5 feet. A California condor, 10 feet. You know, so, I mean, they're talking 25-foot wingspans, and I can't see it in this day and age. But, Dave, I know you mentioned something about a pterodactyl up in your area there that people have seen, and that would be something to behold. Now, there's a Thunderbird you'd want to find.
Well, I mean, the big thing for me when it comes to this creature, I want to believe. I don't necessarily believe it's there. Okay, because, and it may sound funny, and I've said this on other shows as well, but could you imagine the size dropping that would leave? Like a 40-foot Thunderbird, okay, yes, would leave it would be painting trees in the forest. It would cover up not one car, but 2 cars at the same time if it flew over. Nonetheless, that anything 40 feet flying in the sky is going to get radar detection. And yet we don't have that happening.
Plus, think of something else. I mean, you're hitting on something excellent, an excellent thing there, Dave. about the droppings. But what makes the droppings? That thing would have to eat quite a bit, and it would have to find food throughout the day. So there would be sightings. There would have to be sightings if there was a pterodactyl or something like that flying around. I mean, with a wingspan, I guess the largest flying animal of all times back in the prehistoric days was like a 40-foot wingspan. I mean, something that ginormous. Even being out in Texas, as big as Texas is, it would have to have things to eat. And, you know, we just don't have all these disappearances of animals that have been gone missing because you have this large bird-like creature or creatures out there. And can you imagine if you had a couple of dozen, you wouldn't have any sheep or cows or any goats or anything left out there anymore.
But that's the whole point. We don't really know what's truly going on out there. I mean, the only other thing that I could think of, I'm going to turn up the woo factor here a little bit. Okay, but the only other thing that I would think of in regards to this is whether or not it is flying in and out of some sort of portal. Okay? And that way it's not really on our timeline. People may see it, but it doesn't actually live here.
Very good. I was discussing that with one of my members, Ashira 7, and like I said, she's the one that kind of opened my mind up to the thing about the extraterrestrials. You may have hit on something, because there's becoming more and more reports that we're seeing on the internet, not that it's true because it's on the internet, but at least somebody's reporting it, is that humans hear and see only a certain wavelength. Is this possible? If it's possible, maybe there is a portal and we can't see that portal, and these things are coming in and out of such a portal. I'm not saying that there is one, but I'm not saying also that there is not one. It's a high possibility, Dave, because that is another answer to that question. I mean, where can an animal with a 25-foot a bird, 25-foot wingspan be hiding during the daytime? You know, or even nighttime for that matter. I mean, these are some questions out there that we can't answer yet.
Well, I think the answers are there. It's whether or not we're able to actually believe them.
Wrap our heads around it, yeah. But you know what? Everybody's saying seeing is believing. And that's why I stand in front of you, in front of the camera here today, voice-wise, and say that I truly believe that there is a dog man because I did see one. And at 7 foot, 7 inches tall, by my measurement, I'm saying there is such a creature out there. Now, these Thunderbirds, they've been reported for years and years now. I mean, could it be a golden eagle? You know, could it be a sandhill crane? I mean, because a sandhill crane could be up to 6 feet tall, and they do have like a 12-foot wingspan.
I've seen them.
And their eyes glow because they got that red around their eyes. You know, that's red skin, right? You hit it with a light, and it looks like their eyes are glowing red. It's, you know, suddenly you have the Mothman or some sort of a Thunderbird if you see it during the daytime. I mean, those things are huge. So you've got all kinds of creatures out there waiting to be discovered, and I don't know, maybe they shouldn't be discovered because we're going to ruin a whole good thing.
I want to ask you this. In studying Dogman and Bigfoot and other cryptid creatures, how many sightings have you had that have been around the areas of cemeteries or burial grounds?
Oh my God. It's funny you should say that because there's a lot of Dogman sightings around burial grounds. Not so much Sasquatch, but a lot of sightings of Dogman around the burial grounds. And from what I understand in interviewing local people, not that they had the sighting, but they've heard about it. They're talking about the people, because it is a graveyard, you still have the spirits of the people that were buried there. And they're saying that some of them are still on Earth. It could also be a shapeshifter. It could also be skinwalkers in that area. you have a lot of different answers to that question, which reaches into the paranormal, which I'm not really super qualified to answer. But there's a lot of that. And by the way, since I said that about the paranormal, I've been also backing up the equipment that I take with me. People can laugh if they want, but I have a flask of holy water that I bring with me. I bring salt in Ziploc baggies. I have a blessed cross with me. I don't know what I'm going to be coming upon. So along with the pepper spray and the high-powered lights and the flashbangs and the electronic equipment and everything that I use, the whistles, to disrupt something, and the other defensive measures that we carry, that's something else I'm starting to carry with me, because you can never say never. You don't know what this is all about.
But that's what I'm getting at is, do you think these creatures that are seen around places of death are some sort of protector of the spirits there? Give you an example. We got chased out of an area by Sasquatch, which happened to be right within 100 feet, 200 feet of a plane crash from 1965 that is still known as Canada's largest unsolved murder.
Now, this was not in a graveyard, right?
No, this was at a plane crash where 52 people died.
Wow. You took the words out of my mouth before. They're there as a protector. That's what it just seems like. In all the interviews I've had, that same phrase has come up time and time again. They're there as a protector of the sites. This has happened back in the 1800s with the Dogman. I mean, Dogman was also seen not just in the forest area by these loggers, but they were also seen around Indian burial grounds. And they're there as protectors, and they don't want people desecrating the graves, because after all, the Indians were buried. A lot of the Native American Indians were buried with precious metals and jewelry that scavengers would come in and dig up. And unfortunately for the scavengers, most of the stories that I've read, the scavengers never made it home. So, I mean, that could very well be, what's going on, that they're there as protectors. And I'm never going to say never. Not on that at all.
What's the most confusing part of the entire cryptid world that you have found in researching these over the years?
Well, the biggest thing is trying to prove it. The most frustrating thing, I know that's not your question, but the most frustrating is the blurry pictures that you get. My neighbor from 900 feet down the road who moved, she did not have a blurry picture. My encounter, I didn't take pictures because I didn't have a phone out. I had a firearm and I had pepper spray out. That's what I was concerned. I didn't take a picture, but I saw it. That's one of the most frustrating things, just trying to prove, that the cryptid does exist, because so many people are reporting it. I mean, how could 3,000 people on the West Coast of the United States all be wrong? They're all reporting Bigfoot activity. They're reporting rocks being thrown at their houses, rocks being thrown at their cars. I mean, everybody's making up a story. Is that what they're telling me? Everybody wants their 5 minutes of fame? I really don't think so. I do believe that there's something to this.
Well, we've got 5 minutes left with you tonight.
Okay.
This has flown on by, my friend. Let's get to a question from Joseph here. How likely are they related to the Dogman, that is, related to creatures like Anubis or bloodhounds or higher dimensional alien races? Would psychics, remote viewers, shamans, or witches be able to help in finding the cave network of cryptids, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I got to say yes. I think they would be able to help. Like I said, one of my members, Ashira 7, she is a very special and gifted person, and she's able to sense these things, and we're going to try to get her to come to the Land Between the Lakes in Tennessee with us this summer to try to search out these hiding places per se. I think these people, if they would work with us, they would be extremely helpful, and their knowledge would be, unimaginable. I think they would really be able to help us, to find these things out. Now, in reference to Anubis, I don't know. We're talking about a different type of animal here, from way back when. We're not talking about the wolf-like dogman, if that's what this gentleman was referring to.
Well, I know according to Jody, there is these Anubis-like creatures that are believed to be walking around in the forests of Brazil and even in the war zones of Afghanistan. But that's for another topic at night, because I know Jody actually got reports from people who heard him on our show one night. So it's kind of cool. We're going to squeeze in one more question here. This one comes from Sovereign. Do you believe that pterodactyls, La Lechuza, Owl Squatch, Jersey Devil, Moloch, Mothman, Batman, Thunderbirds are all the same entity?
No, I believe they're all different. Pterodactyls, if they're actually around still, somehow they survived millions of years. And where they've been hiding, I don't know. All these different creatures seem to be different types of entities, different types of creatures, like the size differential right there, right off the bat. There's different sizes, and they've been reported the same size and shape by many people. So, I mean, if you're talking about a pterodactyl, you're talking about a large flying creature. You're talking about an owl-type man, which, by the way, is another creature over in England, an owl man. So that's another type of creature. I mean, they all have different shapes and sizes and everything, and different color hair, if you want to call it hair. So, yeah, I would say that they're all different. And you have a lot of, just like you have different animals in the world, I say we have different types of cryptids out there. And Dave, like you said, maybe they're all coming through the portal.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
God.
All I know is, man, I cannot wait for the snow to melt so I can get into my Sasquatch areas and check them on out. But right now, it's just a little bit too deep in the snow to be taking any 4x4s or ATVs, and we don't have tracks. If I had tracks on my side-by-side, I would do it. But right now, it's just too cold. It's like minus 25 degrees Celsius right now here outside the studio.
Minus 25?
Yes, that's cold.
I just looked at my cell phone. It's 10 degrees over here in New Jersey. And here I'm thinking that's cold. I guess not.
Well, you know what? Let's see here. Let's convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So we're at minus 25 right now. That's minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit. I would take your 10 degrees right now.
Any day. Yeah.
Any day. I would take that. All right, my friend. Do us a favor. We got about 45 seconds left. Let everybody know, Nick, where they can find your information or get a hold of you.
Well, you can get a hold of me or you can join the group. I actually run two different Dogman groups. One's the North American Dogman Project - Region 3. We have the biggest Facebook group on Facebook. We're over 2,500 members. I also have a new group that we opened up for the international scene, and it's called the International Dogman Project - Nordic Countries. It's based out of Finland, and I have a boots on the ground investigator over there who is my co-admin, that we both run the group over there, and we try to put mostly stuff from outside the United States. North American Dogman Project means Canada and the United States both, and then the international one covers everybody else. My group, by the way, also has a lot of people from international. I mean, I've
Very
got
cool.
Australia and New Zealand and all over the place.
My friend, thank you so much for coming on. Nick Valente, everybody. Great show on Dogman. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire. We have the Thought of the Dave. Stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio continues after this. Hey, great show, my man. Great show.
I just hope I gave you enough information. I always feel that I don't give enough.
Oh, you were beautiful. That's why we're giving you a few claps. We're gonna bring you on. And Ashira, you need to get a hold of Corrence, the booking guy, so we can bring you on the show. I want to interview you, Ashira. I know she's in the chat room.
Yeah, she's an amazing lady. Amazing.
Yes, I want to interview her. So, could you please get a hold of Corrence at bookings@spacedoutradio.com. Bookings@spacedoutradio.com. Send Corrence, the booking guy, an email, and we'd love to get you in there and go from there. But Nick, thank you so much, man. This was a brilliant show. Brilliant show.
I wish we could have gotten a chupacabra. I wanted to debunk that one.
Oh, we'll get to it. You know, the best part about it is we get to do it again.
Oh, okay.
we will definitely do this again.
Anytime. You were great.
Thank you.
Absolutely great, Dave. I just love the way you run your show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, no, really, I'm not joking. You know, some people that I've been interviewed by, I mean, when I stop talking, they're like dead. They're like, oh, what do I say next? You know, but you just flow. I love the way you flow. It's great.
Well, it's the hair. It's the hair, my friend.
I know. I love that hair. I wish I had that much.
I can lend you some.
Woo!
I have zero male pattern baldness at all.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Hey, where are you from? You from Canada originally?
Yeah. I'm strictly from British Columbia. I've never lived outside of British Columbia. I lived on Vancouver Island for a couple of years. I hated it there. Great place to visit. Just it wasn't for me living. I was born and raised near Vancouver, and then almost 6 years ago, I woke up and I was just like, I'm out. I'm heading up into the forest. Can't handle the people anymore.
Now, the reason I ask is because except for the word ABOUT, except for that, you sound like somebody from my area.
Well, it's funny because a lot of my friends, because the majority of people I talk to are American. And so the majority of the people around me claim that there are certain times when I talk more like an American than I do a Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. My Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like I'm talking to one of my next door neighbors.
Well, hey, glad, I guess. You don't have that Jersey accent. You don't have much of one.
No, I went to Catholic school, and my mother and father, though they're both Italian, from Italy, they speak impeccable English. They learned the language, you know, and Catholic school, the nuns will beat it into you. We had the Sisters of Charity. Boy, they love to dish it out. Oh, my God.
My friend, I got to get ready for the news here, but thank you so much. You're a great dude, man, and we'll definitely be bringing you back. That's for sure.
I do appreciate it, Dave.
Thanks, Nick.
Take care.
You too, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye. What a great dude. Excellent booking again, Corrence, the booking guy. Excellent booking again. Vinny saying, Dave doesn't look a day over 74. I was born in 73, so that fits there. Let's see here. The Weeknd, no, we don't want him for prime minister after that horseshit Super Bowl show. And, that was terrible. Emily, Alaska's greatest athlete, and she rolls her eyes at me every time I say that, says, I think you sound way Canadian. Thank you, Emily. Alaska's greatest athlete. Don't make eye contact with her. She doesn't like it. Her paparazzi and bodyguards will beat you up if you do. And, we've got under a minute. Thank you to Vinster, Raz, Chris, Dolly, and Howard for the amazing super chats tonight. Much love to each and every one of you for your great support of this show. And all of our new subscribers, thank you so much for taking the time and understand what we do here. And, we have a lot of fun doing it. And I hope we've piqued your interest, we're here every Monday through Friday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, 3 hours a night. We're always here. We're always live. We never take a night off because realistically, I have no life outside of this. But that's okay. One day I may, just not right now. Not right now. So we're going to get going with the final half hour here in like 5 seconds. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate it. Want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking up to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Speaking of the news, let's get to it. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes not for the light at heart. Holy cow, a man who accidentally chopped off his hand with a chainsaw was able to have it reattached after he put it in a bag and took it to the hospital with him. Imagine turning up at the hospital with a bag, with most people likely assuming that it contained pajamas. No, you pull out your left hand instead. That's what happened to 59-year-old carpenter Ahmet Essen as the incident took place in the Turkish city of Antalya. Yes, they said he had been cutting back trees and around his woodshed when he slipped off a rock. After slipping and falling, if it wasn't just bad enough, what came next? Well, the chainsaw decided to land on his hand. So Eason said, "I fell off the stone with the chainsaw running and my left hand was cut off at the wrist. I put my hand in a bag and went to the road with it in my other hand. A motorist driving by saw me and took me to the hospital. After initial treatment there, Essen was flown to another hospital, or taken there by helicopter, along with his severed hand. Miraculously, doctors were able to sew his hand back on in a 10-hour surgery, and they predict he will still be able to continue living a normal life afterwards." Yes, the doctors say, "We took some veins and some nerves from his leg and repaired the vein and nerve injuries and bone structures after about 10 hours of surgery." Essen explained that his hand was hanging on by a thin piece of skin, adding, "Once that broke off, I immediately thought, I'm going to lose my hand forever. I thank God and I thank the doctors and the experienced hospital staff. Now I can feel my hand and I've started to move my fingers again." Dr. Yazici, who conducted the surgery, added that after such injuries, long rehabilitation processes are needed for a patient to fully recover, and Essen will remain under supervision for about a year. In 2019, carpenter Anthony Lelliot had a similar experience when he cut his hand in two places using an electric saw. After getting his hand back to working order, British surgeons ended up taking skin from his groin to effectively cover what would have been the palm of his hand. Incredibly, this created the perfect environment for Anthony's hand to regrow skin. Consultant plastic surgeon Roger Adlard said, "There are many surgeons who, once they've seen that level of injury, would think it's unsalvageable. Eventually, the skin from his groin grew new roots where it had been transferred into his hand, and he was able to finally cut that tree down." All right, good for him. That honestly, that scares me when I go out. That scares me. But I also have a newer chainsaw, so the minute you take your finger off the trigger, it immediately goes to stop. But sometimes it takes a little bit. But that scares me. Chainsaws are dangerous. They are. Here's a weird one. Imagine your child's teacher getting busted for masturbating in class. Think about that for a second. Who does that? Well, apparently a Georgia substitute teacher was arrested after she was allegedly fondling herself in front of her second grade class during school hours. 30-year-old Amelia Ressler allegedly filmed herself performing the act while in the classroom at Mount Zion Elementary School. It appears she was masturbating while the classroom was full of kids. According to Carroll County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Ashley Hulsley slammed the incident as disturbing, adding that kids could have seen her touching herself. Where she was sitting, it wasn't like it was a closed desk, and the kids couldn't look up and visually see what was going on at the time. Detectives began investigating Ressler after receiving a tip about the video circulating in the community. We obtained video evidence because she videoed it herself and disseminated it, and we were able to get a hold of that evidence. Ressler was arrested Friday and booked into jail on 19 counts of child molestation, authorities said. We appreciate the dedication that Carroll County Schools has for the safety of their students, as we are contacted immediately following the allegations, and we will continue to work closely with them during the remainder of the investigation. How horrid is that? What kind of a sicko do you have to be to do that in front of children? Seriously. Unbelievable. I hope none of those children saw that. That would be horrific. Strange one here. A Louisiana woman has sought medical attention and treatment after mistakenly using Gorilla Glue spray adhesive in place of actual hairspray. Tessica Brown's plight went viral earlier in February after she revealed that her hair had been stuck in the same style for a month since she substituted her usual got-to-be-glued spray with the industrial-strength glue when she ran out. My hair, it don't move. You hear what I'm telling you? It don't move, she said in the original video posted on TikTok. Yeah, I've washed my hair 15 times. In another video, she was seen slathering on shampoo, which failed to penetrate her rock-hard hair. According to Gorilla Glue's website, the glue, which is 100% waterproof and usually used for fixing bathroom tiles, wood flooring, and decking, can be removed with acetone or isopropyl alcohol. When the company got wind of Brown's dilemma, it reached out to her via Twitter. Hi there. We are sorry to learn about your experience. We do not recommend using our products in hair as they are considered permanent, the message read. You can try soaking the affected area in warm, soapy water or applying rubbing alcohol in the area. Well, on Saturday, Brown, known on Instagram as @IM_D_Olati, took to the photo sharing app to update her followers. She posted a series of images of herself checking into St. Bernard Parish Hospital in Chalmette, Louisiana, in an effort to remove the product. This is really about to be a long process, she said. Celebrities, including Chance the Rapper, have since posted on social media to offer her support. I'm glad people are supporting her through this, the Chicago native said. When I watched the video the second time, it was hard to laugh because I could tell Shorty genuinely didn't know that she had put one of the most world's powerful adhesives in her hair. I hope she recovers. You know how many people are going to try this now? Honestly, people are going to be stupid. They're going to be like, I have the perfect hair tonight, and I am going to put Gorilla Glue in it so that way it stays that way forever. How many people are actually going to do that? I will guarantee you there's going to be a spate of this very soon. I'm not putting it in mine. No, the Dippity-Doo works just perfectly. Yes, I use the cheapest stuff because that's all that works in my hair, to hold it like rock-hard concrete. But nonetheless, I'm never using Gorilla Glue. You shouldn't either. Elon Musk is funding a $100 million innovation contest to identify effective and economical ways to remove and store carbon dioxide. An innovation contest with a 9-figure award could help encourage the development of new ways to approach what scientists increasingly agree is one of the most vital ways to address climate change. Yes, apparently this morning, X Prize, a non-profit that runs incentive contests meant to solve humanity's biggest challenges, announced the launch of a competition for innovators and teams around the world to demonstrate the ability to draw and store carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or oceans. The $100 million prize, by far the largest in X Prize's history, is sponsored by Musk himself. The competition comes a couple weeks after Musk, whose wealth has ballooned in recent years, tweeted about his plans to donate millions to carbon removal technology. The math is showing that we need to develop the new capability of removing carbon emissions from anywhere, anytime we need it, said Marcius Extavur, who leads the X Prize's energy efforts. This is the biggest prize we've ever done by far, but it's fitting the scale of the challenge. The contest will officially launch on April 22nd, which is Earth Day. It will run for 4 years and will be open to individuals and teams from academia and business. All right, moving on. Here's a cool story. Genetic analysis and a close examination of the skulls from a group of baleen whales in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico have revealed that they are a brand new species. How awesome is this? Yeah, I was surprised that there could be an unrecognized species of whale out there, especially in our backyard, says Lindsay Wilcox, a geneticist with the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, who helped uncover the new species. I never imagined I would be describing a new species in my career, so this is a very exciting discovery. The newly described whales weren't exactly hiding in plain sight. With a population estimated to be fewer than 100, the new whales, which researchers have dubbed Rice's whales after American biologist Dale Rice, aren't commonly seen even in the corner of the Gulf of New Mexico they call home. It doesn't help that the whales, previously believed to be a population of bride's whales, have a feeding strategy that takes them deep under the water around the DeSoto Canyon, around 100 kilometers south of Mobile, Alabama. Researchers have long known that this group of brides-like whales in the Gulf of Mexico was different. They seem to mostly stay put in the northeastern part of the Gulf and didn't mingle with bride's whales, which are found in Indian, Atlantic, and Pacific Oceans. They also feed near the seafloor, while most bride's whales typically forage near the surface. But it's difficult even for experts to tell large baleen whales apart in the field, so much so that bride's whales sometimes get confused with fin whales, said John Hildebrand, a biological oceanographer with Scripps Institution of Oceanography at the University of California, San Diego. To definitively tell similar-looking species apart, science needs genetic evidence and a close examination of an animal's morphology. Wilcox's colleagues first began collecting tissue samples from Rice's whales in 2000, eventually collecting samples from 36 different individuals. Comparing these genes with bride's whales, Wilcox says she and her colleagues noticed that they weren't quite what they expected, and we have a new whale species now here on Earth. How awesome is that? So the dude who decided to go streaking at the Super Bowl, yeah, I don't get people who do that. I hate streakers. I really hate streakers. I don't know what I hate more, streakers or the person who starts the wave. Now, doing the wave is fun, but you never want to be the guy or girl who starts the wave. You never want to be that person because you look like an idiot. Either way. Well, the prankster who ran onto the field wearing a neon pink thong suit and had more success juking than the Chiefs was part of a marketing ploy for a porn website. The X-rated site launched by YouTube star and prankster Vitaly Zodorovsky was emblazoned on the man's outfit. "We did it," the 28-year-old said, and later identified as Yuri Andrade, was pinned down by security guards in the fourth quarter of Tampa Bay's 31-19 win. The 31-year-old Andrade, who lives in Boca Raton, was charged with misdemeanor trespassing following the incident. Zodorovsky previously had to run onto the field during World Series and World Cup games, in addition to several run-ins with the law. In April, he was charged with felony aggravated battery and allegedly jumping out of his car and tackling a woman to the ground. Last January, Zodorovsky spent 5 days in an Egyptian prison after he was caught climbing the country's iconic pyramids. Well, this guy just loves to go to jail, I think. Totally loves to go to jail. Moving on. Los Angeles Police Department said a pair of handcuffs taken from an officer more than 60 years ago, arrived in a package along with a letter of apology from the now grandfather who walked off with them. The LAPD tweeted photos Thursday showing the handcuffs and a letter that arrived with a $100 payment recently. The letter was offered by a 74-year-old grandfather from Vista who wrote that he had taken the handcuffs off the ground when an officer dropped them during an altercation at the local Big Bob's Boy restaurant more than 60 years ago. I have felt a little guilty each time I saw the handcuffs over the years, but did nothing about it, the man wrote. The man said he decided to finally return the handcuffs to set a good example for his grandsons, aged 6 and 9. They were aghast and asked me why I stole the handcuffs from the policeman. I, of course, had no good explanation, and I told him that it was the wrong thing to do, and I wasn't proud of it, and then I danced around the subject, the letter stated. The man wrote that he wanted to make amends by returning the cuffs with a $100 donation to the department. It's never too late to do the right thing, said the police. And finally tonight, some swimmers are bad. We got bad swimmers, people. What do I mean by this? Well, some sperm cells are ruthless manipulators that literally will poison their competition in a race to fertilize an egg. New research has shown. Yes. So apparently, this is a fight for life when, sperm meets egg. It is a race. There's only one winner, sometimes two, sometimes three or more, but usually only one. And sperm with the T haplotype managed to disable sperm without it, according to Bernard Herrmann, as they study how life is happening and why only one gets in. The trick is that the poisons that the T haplotype poisons all sperm, but at the same time produces an antidote which acts as only to protect itself. Imagine that. We're only protecting ourselves when it comes to sperm versus the egg. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What would be your theme song if you were going out to search for monsters? Start off with Marty on Twitter because we love Marty being a veteran and listening to this show. We love our veterans around here, so thank you so much, Marty, for your service. And thank you for the clown photo. He says, whatever gets you through the night would be the perfect theme song for monster or ghost searching if you did them at night like most. Graham, the American Dream from that old wrestling song, 'cause it's epic. Anthony, Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. Gets me pumped up to do whatever, so I figure it would be perfect. Now, Varla Ventura, we love Varla around here. She believes it's Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, Little Red Riding Hood. How can you not make it Bird is the Word? Varla. Oh, well. Dirty Filth. Perfect music to lurk around in the boonies searching for spooky monsters. Castlevania SOTN by Rainbow Cemetery. Captain Canada, Gimme Shelter from the Stones. Gary Voorhees, the Looney Tunes anthem, 'cause I'm hunting the Predator. 13 Ballads, Make You Better by the Decemberists. It was the song I listened to when I wrote a graphic novel about a rebellious Métis meerkats in a far-flung future in 2014. Stetson John likes Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, Dance Guardians of the Galaxy. Jules, Disturbs, Sound of Silence. She goes, because the worst monsters are human. Jeff, Fred Bear by Ted Nugent. Replace the word buck with monster in the lyrics, and it fits perfectly. Anthony wants to listen to the Misfits, Horror Business. Scott, On the Rooftop with Quasimodo is his choice. Mickle in a Pickle, otherwise Mick Joseph. I just loved this show as a kid. Uplifting, makes you want to go kick some ass. The A-Team's theme song. Oh, how cool is that? Black Wolf wants to listen to Roky Erickson. I think of demons. And Carl, I can't see. Who does Carl want to listen to here? Hold on. Let's find out. Season of the Witch by Donovan. Season of the Witch by Donovan. All right, moving on here. Let's see who else has. Aussie Rob wants to listen to the Scooby-Doo theme song. Kara McIver, former guest here. The Doors, People Are Strange. Gail, the Monster Mash, because if you don't find a monster, you can always dance the night away. Nicola wants to listen to Follow Me, Follow You. Danny, Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell, because I wouldn't see a damn thing, but they would see me. Hey, I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Thank you, YouTube. Cheryl, Beethoven's 7th, second movement. Wild Thing for Mike. Scarlet, The Vengeful One by Disturbed. John Carty, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Chris Jarvis, Run Through the Jungle by CCR because of the vibe it gives. Bill, A Dangerous Meeting by Merciful Fate. Lynette, Meet the Monster by Five Finger Death Punch. Come on, wash it all away, lady. Just wash it all away. Just do it that way. And let's see who else we got. Byron, I Never Had a Lot to Lose by Cheap Trick. Larry, I Don't Like Spiders and Snakes. Dark for Jim by Gary Newman. Gabe, I'm Sticking with the Winchesters. Carry On, Wayward Son. Kansas. And let's get to Kira. The Thing That Should Not Be by Metallica. You know what mine would be? To be absolutely blunt? Slave to the Grind by Skid Row. Or Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls. Two classic songs right there. Or something by Iron Maiden. Maybe a little Flight of the Icarus. Thank you to everyone who took part in the Thought of the Dave on Facebook and Twitter. We will do it all again tomorrow. I'd love to read your responses, so make sure you get on in there and check it on out. Thank you to Captain Shirk for the news and a great show, Talking Dogman, by Nick Valente from the North American Dogman Project. This was a lot of fun. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight on YouTube, Spreaker, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club at our website, and all the snarkers and snarkettes hanging out on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, say it with me, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Train has docked for the night, but we shall ride once again tomorrow. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night. That's good rock and or rolling, people. Seriously good rock and or rolling. I'm a fan of tonight's show. Oh, take those off. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Push my glasses back up there. That's good stuff. Very good stuff. Do 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 do. 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 We are here every Monday through Friday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. The Philip Blair is here, everyone. The Philip Blair. Jennifer Richardson Elizalde, how you doing there, beautiful lady? What do you mean pick a cool song? I did pick 3 cool songs. Good night, Dave Drake. Iron Maiden's Flight of the Icarus is awesome. Fly on your way like an eagle. Fly it high, cross the sun. On your way like an eagle. Oh, that's good stuff. Mm-hmm. By the way, everyone, Kira went to bed about an hour ago, so that's not really Kira chatting right now. Choose a cool song. Come on. Slave to the Grind? That was my hockey fighting song. Thank you, the Michael Leger. The Michael Leger. Race fan, WFO. Thank you for joining us all night long. All night long. Ashira, 7. How come it's not Ashira 8? Have you only incarnated 7 times? Is that why it's only 7? I'm just curious. Can't one be curious? I miss Pickles. Lexi Fox is a Rage Against the Machine. I thought you would go definitely with something by Steel Panther. Pardon me. I think I got something caught in my teeth. Hold on. I know it's gross, but god damn, I got something in my teeth. Don't look. Oh. Got it. Thank goodness. Oh, that was driving me nuts. All show. I just can't pick my teeth during the show. I used to be able to when we weren't on YouTube. Fly on your way like an eagle. Fly as high as the sun. On your way. Oh, very cool, race fan. We look forward to you being here. Thank you so much. Prairie Fire. Pubic hair? What do pubes have to do? Are you trying to pay for the show in pubes? Because I don't accept pubes. I'll accept a beard, but I'm not accepting pubes. It's terrible. Who's trying to pawn off some pubes here? It's terrible. Who does that? Apparently Prairie Fire does, because that's a Saskatchewan thing to do. Give us a wave, Prairie Fire. I'm waving at you. Give us a wave. Okay. 0208 Nick Valente. Nick Valente. Nick Valente. Nick Valente. Nick Valente. Mm-hmm. 0208 KZAX. KZAX. Where'd you guys go? Close that off. I figured Dave's fighting song. Oh, the Benny Hill song would be great. Totally great. Do 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 do. Oh, thank you, gorgeous Jennifer Richardson Elizalde. Pardon me. Do I have to pronounce the hyphen? Because you have one of them hyphenated names. Do I have to pronounce the hyphen? So would it be Jennifer Richardson hyphen Elizalde? Just kind of curious. Please clarify that. Okay, so it wasn't this half hour where he said shits and giggles. It was next half hour. Okay. SOR1. Hey, Desert Clam, aka Jeff Gear. What is going on? Now, if you wanted a theme song for the Desert Clam, going to search for monsters and cryptids, he would sit on a tree stump and he would play Richard Marx's "Wherever You Go, Whatever You Do, I'll Be Right Here Waiting for You." And his hands would be crossed on his knees waiting. Just saying. That's our Desert Clam. That's our guy. I know he's laughing right now. Jeff, I know you're laughing right now. Zen calm. Exactly, brother. Exactly. You'll be right here waiting for you. And Hungman, I know you say, fuck. Right, and hold the light. Any explanation? Exactly what it says, Mixed Pickles. Exactly what it says. Our mottos back in the playing days when I was young was what was it? Friday nights were fight and fuck night. Because after we'd fight during the hockey games and we'd go to the bar and try to pick up ladies. As gross as that sounds now. Oh my god. No, I am not singing Billy Ray. That's terrible. Elizalde. All right, hold on. I gotta find this piece here. Where is it here? Wire. Follow us on Twitter. You went through,
and it set off a ton more of research. I couldn't figure out what it was. I asked people in the paranormal community if they ever saw something like this. Nobody knew nothing about this. Years go by, and I just happened to be on YouTube, just flicking through it, looking for bodybuilding videos and stuff, a la Nate, right?
Yes.
And trying to figure out how to bench 480 like good old Nate Rudd over there. And I came upon this organization, the NADP, and it says North American Dogman Project, just for shits and giggles, Dave.
That's what
organization, the NADP, and it says North American Dogman Project, just for shits and giggles, Dave. Just for shits and giggles, Dave. I clicked on it. Just for shits and giggles, Dave. Project. I clicked on it.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
Pictures come up.
Beautiful edit, Dave. Oh, that's just a gorgeous edit. Just a gorgeous edit by Dave. And yes, Alexi, I know the SJWs will be out big time. Oh, come on, Desert Clam. Everyone shat and giggled at the same time because it made lots of noise and you were in a public bathroom. No info on David Politis. Haven't really checked in. Hey, Crow Creek, how you doing, man? Oh, man. I got hot sauce heartburn right now. Hot sauce heartburn. Is that 3 or 4? Son of a gun. Hold on, let's cancel that. That's 3. Thank you, the Michael Leger. The Michael Leger. Dave's right here. Hi, I'm Dave. Hi, I'm Dave. Is the Bumblefoot birthday hot sauce still on? I gotta get some. Yes, if I gotta see if he has some in Canada. I gotta order some. Dave not here, man. Dave's a killer. Dave's a mess. But you can't figure out what movie that's from. I'll go upstairs to have some milk in a little bit. Kingpin for sure. 100% Kingpin. Did you know that that Bill Murray actually bowled those 3 strikes in a row? Did you know that? That was all like he did that was all one take. That was all one take when Bill Murray bowled those 3 strikes in the row at the end of Kingpin. That's just amazing. You know what I'm also surprised is what's been popping up in my video feeds of Facebook lately have been like reruns of Al Bundy insults from Married with Children. All I can say is that for today's nature, that stuff is pretty politically incorrect since we're not allowed to have fun anymore. Now somebody's going to go, "What, Dave? You can't have fun without insulting people?" No, but Al Bundy was funny. I'm surprised Facebook still allows it, to be blunt. No, Married with Children so could not be on today. Bigger and McCracken, that's right. Scored 4 touchdowns in one game. Oh my goodness. You know, a movie I am looking forward to seeing is Coming to America Part 2. Growing up, Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall was like one of my favorite movies ever. I love Eddie Murphy. Always loved Eddie Murphy. And the fact that they are finally coming out with a part 2, that is awesome. Awesome. So one thing I love about Eddie Murphy, he just don't give a fuck. He don't care. Siren Head looks like a big siren, like an air raid siren head on a human body. I have a 2015 Arctic Cat Sport. Hey, gorgeous Wendy Williams. Tom, what's going on? Brian Stavely will come back on in the future. Usually we try to book guests every anywhere from 5 to 8 months apart, 9 months apart. So you probably may hear Brian later on this year, like in the fall. But we will have that same topic on. Excuse me. So that's kind of cool. Pyridoxine. Eddie Murphy, in my opinion, at least for my generation, is like one of the funniest people on earth. Good night, Miss Pickles. We love Miss Pickles. My show has been on the air since November 30th, 2014. Oh, there he is, everyone. Mr. Cowley. Welcome back to the show. Oh, Mr. Cowley loves his spaced out radio. It just works. Honestly, it just worked. Arctic Cats, mine's been good. Mine's been really good. I just gotta, I bought it used, so I have to change some wiring in it to get the headlights going, but I got a big light bar on the roof, and oh, I love mine. Dave, I turntable abductees. Would I be allowed to use your show sometime? What does that mean, Pyridoxine? I'm curious. Gorgeous and talented Jessica McCreary asks, are there topics that are off limits when referring to a guest for the show? Yes. We do not, or I will not allow any dark conspiracy topics, just don't allow them. Whether that's look, there's some of the topics I'm very interested in, but they just don't make for great terrestrial radio, like 9/11, like I don't touch anything that has to deal with false. I don't like the QAnon bullshit. Okay, I don't like anything to do with children. Like if you're talking children's spirits or something like that, but like Pizzagate bullshit that and all that kind of crap. I don't. We don't talk about stuff like that. So you got to be careful with what we talk about. But for the most part, we don't really have a filter, but we do have to be careful, which is normal. And plus, I don't like talking about those topics either. I mean, all they do is end up getting you into trouble. One way or another, they end up getting you into trouble. I don't like trouble. 2, 6, 7, 5, 4. I really don't like getting into trouble. I have a riding lawnmower too, by the way. Mine's a Mastercraft with a Briggs & Stratton engine. Like, look, there's a lot of conspiracies or things I would love to get into, but the one thing that our radio stations have really, really focused on with us is they love the idea that people can get away. We're getaway entertainment. We're not a we're not a we're not a hardcore show, if that makes any sense. Right? That's probably the big one is I don't want to be a hardcore show. There's too much seriousness these days. Too much seriousness. And hey Andrew, how you doing? And I just don't want to I'm just tired of it. That's what I love about this. We'll have fun. And you know what? I have my critics. I don't care. Yeah, the beard is kind of hardcore right now, Lexi Fox. Excuse me. Yeah, but seriously, there's just way too much going on. I just want to have fun. I'm thinking of changing the show up just a little bit, just to maybe add a new segment. But I'm like all of you guys. I'm tired of COVID. I'm tired of hearing about COVID. I'm tired of hearing about politics. I'm tired of my tax dollars going up. I'm tired of people treating everybody like shit that we got to walk around on eggshells every day of our lives. I'm tired of not being able to say an opinion without getting roasted on social media. I'm tired of watching people phone the police or the newspaper because someone isn't wearing a mask properly or a mask at all. I'm tired of people just being idiots and treating people like idiots, you know. And so that's why, like, on this show, I try so hard to stay away from those topics because I'm just tired of it, you know. I'm tired of cancel culture. I've experienced that myself. I'm tired of people lying about who they are in order to get ahead. Why can't we just love each other, man, and just be nice? Being nice is so much better. It really is. But there's just so much negativity now that I just, that's why in the news, like even with Captain Shirk, she has a tough time finding news for us and sometimes because it's always COVID, it's always politics. Like during the US presidential election run, holy shit, I felt bad for her. I really did. I just want the border to open up so that way we can go to Vegas and party. 416 Bitcoin. What are you still doing awake? Hey, dude, did you get into that whole doggy or whatever it is? Did you get in on that? And Mr. Cowley loves his spaced out radio. Done there, done there, done there. Tell us a stupid joke. I don't really do jokes. I did win a poker tournament on PokerStars the other day. That was kind of cool. Won like $57. I was pretty happy with that. Who here is on PokerStars? Anybody? What did the proctologist say? I started at the bottom and stayed there. Hey, thank you, Lexi. Antarctica, you know what, Crave Dog? I haven't done a show specifically on Antarctica yet because I don't believe a lot of the researchers. Okay. that we have in our community. I don't believe they're getting the information correctly. And so it's difficult to get someone to credibly talk about that because it is such a sticky subject. Do 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 do. I mean, we could try and find someone. I'm sure Corn's the booking guy would love to. Which reminds me, I got a message from him. I need an. Oh. Hey, Lala is still here. Oh, that's a bad one. I'm not even going to repeat that one. That's a bad one. Share the file. There we go. We are done the downloading. Yay. Dave gets to go to bed. Yay. I want to say a big thank you. Let's see how many new subscribers we got tonight. How about that? As I slouch in my chair. I don't know why all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like tired. Excuse me. Let's go to YouTube Stereo. We started the night with 10,524. We gained 7 more. We gained 7 more. Who did we gain? Let's find out here. Let's go to date subscribed. I don't understand. It only gives me like 3. Last 7 days. I don't get that. So before the show, it said we were at 10,524. And then it shows me the dates today of the subscribers. And it's like gone up by 7. Yet it's only showing me 3. Don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get it whatsoever. But I'm not going to worry about it right now because I am tired and I'm going to go to bed. So thank you to everyone for being on the show. And thank you to Vinster, Razgriz, Dolly, and Howard for the super chats tonight. So Larry, well, you were late, but that's okay. So Larry, I got to get in on that Dodge. Hey, what tomorrow? Somebody send me what's a good app to get in on that because I want to get in on that. I do. I might throw like $100 in there or something. See what happens. See what happens. All right, I'm gonna say goodnight to all of you. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Who is our guest tomorrow? Hot damn, who's our guest tomorrow? I forget because I logged everything off. Son of a gun. Anyways, tomorrow we got a show. It'll be good, I promise you. Go to our website, spacedoutradio.com. You can figure it out. There you go. Bye. See you. Good night. Bye. I'm going. Bye. Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio. Good night.